Good afternoon and welcome to the Summer of Baseball, proudly brought to you by Sports Broadcasting Australia. We are here live at Northmead Reserve in the beautiful Baulko Hills area for yet another Sunday the 10th of December 2017, and we're bringing you the big clash between the Baulko Hills Kookaburras and the Cronulla Sharks. I'm Big Cam Hickson, glad to be aboard, and beside me as always PMAC. We'll get to him in a second. But it's summertime in Sydney, and that means baseball. The sun's out. It's a fabulous day here at Northmead. Looking forward to another fantastic afternoon of baseball here at Northmead Reserve. You are, of course, listening to the Summer of Baseball, proudly brought to you by Sports Broadcasting Australia. So get that link out there to your friends, your family, anybody that might be interested in it. And we will be able to do what we can to be able to get this baseball game broadcast all around this world. Without any further ado, I will throw to the man on the right of me. A big good afternoon to you, PMAC, Paul McCulloch.
And it's a very good afternoon to you, Cam, and viewers wherever you are across this globe. And we hope you are enjoying it. And we will bring you the best game that we possibly can here this afternoon from Northmead Reserve, at the home of the Baulko Hills Baseball Club. And yeah, you did say that it's a wonderful afternoon, and as you can see, the picture that's coming up on your screen at the moment, that will give you a pretty good idea of the blue skies that we have here. It's summertime in Sydney, and yeah, slight contrast for what we saw last week and a couple of days during this week where there were storms all over the place, but it is summer in Sydney, and it's well, around about the mid to high 20s with a beautiful breeze that's actually blowing through here underneath the shade here. And you know, for those that want to know, we will actually get lineups very, very shortly. And before we do get underway, it's a big hello and a cheerio to Joe in the Philippines. That we've got to get that call in early because you know, Andrew.
Call it early, call it often. We'll give Joey a couple of shout outs. We know he's out there. He's going to tune into this game, and he knows the game starts at 2:30, so we might give him another shout out at about 2:45 PMAC when the game's underway.
Yeah, and also it's to the Godfather up there who has now changed allegiances, Cam. We know that when we've sort of taken the mickey out of him a couple of times, but now he has actually not only set his clock back 1 hour, but it's also been 10 years because he has now moved to Queensland.
That's all right, as long as he's put it back to 1990s time.
So he'll be good. So, and we'll get the SMSs through. And speaking of SMSs, if you'd like to contact us here at the broadcast, the SMS number is 0423 551 195. That's 0423 551 195. And Cam, you've got the Twitter handle and the other bits and pieces? Yeah,
Twitter handle, best to get us at Summer of Baseball, all one word, drop the last L, because you're only allowed 14 characters in the handle. So at Summer of Baseball, that'll get through to us up here. Otherwise, you can handle me directly on Twitter, and that is BigCam1972. So either of those will get to us here in the commentary box, but at Summer of Baseball is the most easiest to get us on, and the one that we check most often. So we would love to have you join in the broadcast. Let us know whereabouts you're calling from or watching from. And we'd love to be able to shout out and say hello to you and see how the weather and time is wherever you may be in this world, because I know last week we had a few Northern Californian viewers up there in the Bay Area and the Frisco sort of area. So hopefully if they're back on board watching in again, although they were Ride supporters, so they may not be back on board.
Oh, I'm sure they'll still be listening in on us, Cam.
So that's it. We may have a few Sharky supporters scattered around the place that are tuned in to be able to watch their boys go around against Baulko Hills this afternoon.
Yeah, certainly will. And also just remind our viewers that there are going to be a few sponsorship announcements, because Summer of Baseball broadcast coming to you from Northmead. It is brought to you by a few sponsors, and some of those sponsors for this afternoon are Baulko Hills Baseball Club, Red Stitches Baseball and Softball Supplies, Boards and Bench Tops, Fire Equip and Power Packaging Solutions. So they're just a couple of the sponsors that we'll have a couple of reads coming through today. But also, before we get underway with the main game in front of us, run through some of the results from over the weekend for round 12, and I do actually have those in front of me here at the moment. So round 12, we had the under-18s, Manly 15 defeated Ride 1. Central Coast they played Macarthur, and Central Coast 4, Macarthur 1. Baulko Hills 6 defeated Cronulla 2, and Vikings defeated Blacktown 4-3. So that was for the under-18s competition. And in the third grade competition, we had Ride 13 defeated Manly 2. Macarthur 17 defeated Central Coast 2. Baulko Hills and Cronulla had a 7-all draw, and Cam, I was here a little bit early, as you know, and I actually got to see that game, or majority of that game, and realistically, Cronulla weren't really in the hunt for that game up until the second to last inning, and it came down to one play at the plate with the bottom of the inning. The Baulko Hills guys.
All or nothing, eh?
Yeah, it was. It was an all-or-nothing call, and it really was just one of those bang-bang calls. In my opinion, umpire got it well and truly right, but I was totally sitting on the neutral side of the fence. But the Baulko guys, they thought the umpire got it wrong. Cronulla, they thought he got it right. So we can't please everybody, but for my money, I thought he got it spot on. And it's an up-and-coming umpire, a fellow by the name of Paul Jones. So he was doing the plate today, and he didn't do a bad job.
Or you can ask that he is in position to make a call. If he's in position to make the call, then you just got to live with it.
He certainly was.
As much as you might not like it, you live with it.
And the other game in third grade, it was Blacktown 8 defeated Vikings 2. And we've had second grade games that not only you would have seen on the broadcast a little bit of the closing stages of it, which we just did a little bit of a test to make sure that everything was working. But we had, it looks like Rd and Manly, I don't have the results on that one for reasons unknown, but Macarthur 2 drew with Central Coast. Vikings 7 drew with Blacktown Workers 7. So there's some close matchups, very close games that are going through, and some people say, yeah, there's no draws in baseball, but in Australia, in the competition that we have, we do have time restrictions.
I was going to say, no draws in top class baseball, unfortunately, with lights and trying to squeeze games in on Saturday nights or a couple of games in before a first grade game on a Sunday, there are strict time limits, and as you say, PMAC, we've got to stick to them to get the best of all the grades in.
That we do.
Give everyone a game.
And midweek games this weekend were all washed out. As I did say, we did have quite a lot of rain that came through, and we're just going to get zonked on the head, I think, by a ball.
Stayed in.
No, good. So all the midweek games were washed out, and so far this round we've had Vikings 5 beat Blacktown Workers 4, Macarthur 3 defeated Central Coast 2. So that's the results so far that we have, and I do believe that we've got a competition table as I quickly scroll through onto my last page.
Of our notes, yes. Competition
standings.
There we
go. See, I actually was a little bit prepared today. Not much, but a little bit, because we did have family Christmas do last night.
Oh, there you go.
Couple of family members over from Perth, but reading through this way, under 18s, Baulko Hills are leading, followed by Cronulla. So that's why it was quite an interesting matchup, versus 2.
It was for the top of the ladder. Both teams had only lost one game.
Correct.
And so it was for all the dice.
Yep, and as it turns out, Baulko Hills won that game 6-2, so they're well and truly stay on top. They're followed by Manly, Macarthur, Ryde, Penrith, Canterbury, Blacktown Workers, Central Coast Marlins. So that's the under 18s. For third grade, on the other side of things, Macarthur Orioles, they're with an 8-1. Canterbury Vikings with an 8-2. Baulko Hills, they're running third with a 6-3. And Cronulla running fourth with a 5-4. And again, as I mentioned last week, pretty much draw a line from 500 up below. In the second grade competition, we have Canterbury Vikings, followed by Cronulla Sharks, Blacktown Workers, Ryde Hawks, and Baulko Hills. So Ryde and Baulko, we said it last week and we'll say it again this week. Pretty much anything underneath those guys, this time of the season, it's going to be really tough. Really tough to get above those guys. And in the first grade side of things, we've got the Macarthur Orioles well and truly out in front with a 16-2 win percentage. Central Coast Marlins, followed by Canterbury Vikings, Cronulla, Ryde, Baulko, Blacktown, Manly and Penrith.
And in this PMAC, if you do look at that ladder, if people can get onto the State Baseball League's website and have a look at that ladder, they would see that Cronulla are 10-9 going into this game. That may not have the week, midweek was washed out, wasn't it? So it won't make it. So they'll be 10-9 going into this game. So they're one game in front of the 500 mark, which has always been about a benchmark for the semi-finals. You look at Baulko Hills, who are 2 places behind them. They are 8-9. They are one game behind. So if Baulkham Hills were to find a way to win this, they would actually level up with Cronulla at 500. Cronulla would drop to 10-10,
yep.
and Baulkham Hills would pick up to 9-9. So it would then go further on to the various tiebreakers of differentials, etc., etc.
And you've also got Manly playing Ride, so potentially Ride.
If an upset there and Ride would fall to, actually Ride are one game behind. Yeah, they're one game behind 500 as well.
Because everyone would be pretty much 500 from Cronulla,
correct, 4th,
Ride,
5th and
Baulko.
6th, and playing a top 4, as I believe the semi-final series may be this season.
Yeah.
It'll be very, very interesting to that 500 will be running 4th. So it'll be 3-way, 4-way tie, in fact, for 4th place. It'll be very, very interesting going into the Christmas break.
Certainly will. And leading into the club championship after round 10, from the round 10 results, we have Macarthur Orioles, they're followed by Cronulla Sharks, Canterbury Vikings, Baulkham Hills, Central Coast Marlins, Ride Hawks, Blacktown Workers, Manly Eagles, and a bit of a turn up for the books, Penrith Panthers on the other side of the ledger.
Macarthur almost got a lock on the club championship courtesy of their first grade team at the moment at a 16-2 record. And first grade is rated a little bit heavier in the club championship than the other grades, and
correct.
Hence Macarthur has a very, very good lead in that. So that brings us to the game at hand. PMAC, we're only moments away. The umpires have made their way over now onto the field. They'll come and have a quick chat to the scorers. So what we might do is quickly run through the lineups for the two teams. We will run through the defensive lineup for the Baulkham Hills Kookaburras. They will go into the field in the following order. Hayden Liberopoulos will look after left field. Ben Cohn looks after centre field. Matt Martinson has right field. Luke Clapson has the hot corner at third. Jared Bylider, he's back where he always is, shortstop. Joe Stevens looks after second base. The big Heath Gray man, he's on first base. Behind the dish, James Percival. On the bump for the Baulkham Hills club will be Scott Cohn. That is how Baulkham Hills will take the field.
Okie doke, and running through the Cronulla lineup in batting order, it will be Lachlan Ross. He'll be leading off, followed by Andrew Azzopardi. Batting 3 will be Jared Mangione. In clean-up will be John Collins. Batting 5, Dean Sangster. Cole Smith, the designated hitters, batting 6. Ismail Adra, the shortstop, batting 7. Quinton Exnar is batting 8. And in the 9 hole is Zane Ross. So that's the way that they're going to be in batting order for the Cronulla side. And I'm going to take the opportunity, Cam, to just quickly run through. I did mention before that there's going to be a few sponsorship announcements. So we'll just go through the first one, and that will be, as he says, quickly coming across over to here. It is Power Packaging, and from pallet wraps to packaging tape, cardboard boxes to bubble wraps, talk to Power Packaging. Power Packaging are a family-run company since 1989. They're based in Western Sydney's Wetherill Park, and Power not only guarantee next-day delivery, but you'll receive the highest quality products along with big league customer service for all your warehouse packaging needs. Contact them at www.powerpackaging.com.au, or you can make a phone call to 9725 2211 and let them know where you've actually heard their sponsorship reads from. And they're a great supporter of Baulkham Hills Baseball Club, so why not support the sponsors that support the clubs?
That's the best way to do it, PMAC. The umpires have had their plate meeting now. You see them just wandering off and getting Baulkham Hills organised. We are right on start time, and Baulkham Hills will now bounce out into the field. They've had their little meeting in front of the dugout. They bounce out onto the field, and Cronulla is ready to go. The umpires are ready to go. We're moments away from the first pitch here on the Summer of Baseball, proudly brought to you by Sports Broadcasting Australia. Big Cam Hickson here behind the mic, and on the right, as always, PMAC, pressing the buttons, bringing you all the vision and all the plays. We are looking forward to being back in the buggy. It had been a little while, and it's 2 weeks in a row now, so rolling before the Christmas break. But looking forward to getting back into it. Lots of baseball going on around Sydney this afternoon in the State Baseball League. We will try and bring you a few scores as they progress, should we be able to.
I'm sure we'll be able to as soon as we get them, Cam.
So Scott Cohn just going through some warm-up pitches now, getting his arm loose and ready to go.
And don't forget that if you want to send us a message or a cheerio, it's 0423 551 195. That's 0423 551 195. Or the Twitter handle is @SummerOfBaseball. So they're the two ways that we'll be able to get you pretty much spot on throughout the broadcast.
That's exactly right, PMax. So balls out have been called. Last warm-up pitch for Scott Cone, and we will be underway as he fires it into James Percival, who will have a throw over just to warm his arm up, and that is on the money. And so we are ready to roll here at Northmead Reserve for the clash between the Cronulla Sharks and the Baulko Hills Kookaburras.
And leading off for the Cronulla side will be the second baseman, Lachlan Ross. And umpire comes over and just checks to make sure that everybody's ready, everybody's set to go. And coming up to 20 minutes to 3 o'clock.
So pretty much bang on time for a 2:40 first pitch. In fact, a little bit in front of a 2:40 first pitch. Scott Cone ready to go. Winds up. First pitch is down low for a ball. Underway here on a wonderful Sunday afternoon here at Northmead. Wind has turned around a little bit. Feels like it's coming from third base and blowing out a little bit now. Earlier in the day it was certainly blowing in. But left-handed hitters may get a little bit of an advantage from this breeze this afternoon. But certainly not as blustery as last week. This one hits straight at second baseman Stevens. He stays down on it nicely, comes up with the throw, and Ross will be retired for the first out of the afternoon. Pretty routine, pretty simple ground ball there to Joe Stevens to start things off.
Yeah, as you did call it, Cam, it's just a regulation 4-3 for the first out. But what that's going to bring to the plate is third baseman Andrew Azzopardi.
Pretty much looking after the Cronulla club these days, Andrew. Doing a lot of work for them and managing this first grade team.
Yeah, now he's doing a little bit of garden work in the batting box.
Just digging a hole. First pitch from Scott Cone. Nice little cutting fastball for a strike. Taking a lot of dirt there, Andrew Azzopardi. He's going to end up going down about a foot into a hole.
Why dig a hole? All it's going to do is make your strike zone a little bit lower.
Checks off that next pitch. Change of pace pitch that from Ben Cone. Count to 1 ball and 1 strike. Cone kicks that leg up, comes Azzopardi, fouls it off towards the canteen block over the first base dugout here at Northmead Reserve.
And Cam, it's hopefully around about the fourth inning or so that we're going to be graced by the microphone, because we do have a spare headset here, by El Presidente. And we know that El Presidente was, oh, there we go, was in Tasmania last week, so he wasn't able to join us on the microphone, but he's certainly here this afternoon. And again, back in the helm, so to speak. So the club didn't fall apart whilst he was on holidays.
Never does, Pre-Mac, it never does. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Cone facing Azzopardi. Cone, the left-hander, comes in, breaking pitch, misses upstairs. Just needed to break a little bit. Direction was okay, just hung it up on the breeze. As we said, blowing sort of out from third base to the right field corner. Full count pitch, swung on, popped up into foul territory. There's a big foul territory. Gray's after it. Second base is going to go after it and make the catch. He's going to catch it actually about a step in fair territory. So it's swirled around up there. But getting across, Joe Stevens got across to help Heath Gray. Heath Gray was headed into foul territory looking for that one. And Joe Stevens gets around. It's all Joe Stevens early. He had the ground ball assist for the first out and catches the fly for the second out, so maybe a line drive straight at him for the third out.
Oh, there we
we'll
go.
Give him one of a bit of everything.
Give him one of everything. But now in the batting box is the first baseman, Jared Mangione.
Mangione sees fastball, foul, tips it into the glove of Percival for the first strike. Mangione, a solid boy, digging in from the right-hand side of the plate. Thinks about the second pitch, catches the outside corner and called strike. So 0-2 now on Mangione here in the hole. 2 out, top of the first, no score. Cronulla and Baulko Hills here at Northmead Reserve. 0-2 pitch sitting outside and it's way outside. Percival went to that outside corner. Was trying to extend the strike zone a little bit, maybe get Mangione to swing at one. Mangione having none of it. 1-2 pitch, a swung on and lifted into right field. Shouldn't be a problem out there for Martinson. Has a good read on it. Makes a good catch in right field. And they go 3 up, 3 down in the top of the first, do the Sharks. So Baulko Hills, they will head to the dugouts to grab a bat. And when we come back, we will come back with the bottom of the first inning. And it will be the Baulko Hills Kookaburras coming to the plate.
Welcome back to the Summer of Baseball, proudly brought to you by Sports Broadcasting Australia, and we're broadcasting live from Northmead Reserve in Baulko Hills, and we're about to go into the bottom of the first innings in this matchup between the Cronulla and Baulko Hills Baseball Club. And leading off for Baulko Hills will be their shortstop, Jared Bylighter.
Bylighter takes the first pitch, called strike. Skylar Shaw-Fuss doing the pitching on the mound for the Cronulla Sharks. I'll run through their defensive lineup as the innings progresses. This one slapped foul by Bylighter down the third base line. In left field, Dean Sangster. Centre field, Zane Ross. In right field, Quinton Exner. In third base, Andrew Azzopardi. Shortstop, Ismail Adra. Second base, Lachlan Ross. First base, Jared Mangione. Behind the dish is John Collins. As I said, Skylar Shaw-Fuss on the bump for Cronulla. And the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes on Jared Bylighter, leading things off for Baulko Hills. 1-2 pitch on its way. It's a little bleeder into right field, dying quickly, but sliding in to make a good catch out in right field will be Exner. He had to get down and slide late, and it was dying quickly, but the breeze just carried it out there enough that he was able to slide in underneath it and take a very good catch in right field to start things for Cronulla.
Yeah, it certainly did, Cam, and it's just one of those things. It's a do-or-die play, and thankfully it's early in the game, so it's not going to cause that many issues if you do miss it, but he didn't, and now it brings to the plate the centre fielder Ben Cone for Baulko Hills, and first pitch is inside for ball 1. So
Cone waits now on Fuss, misses inside, does Shaw-Fuss. 2 straight balls now on Ben Cone. Ben Cone patrolling the extravagant depths, and this one hit hard to left field. It's deep. It goes back, goes Sangster to the wall. It is gone. It is out of here, and just waiting on official confirmation from the umpires, but I'm pretty sure that is a home run. It is a home run to Ben Cone. It disappeared over the first of the fences and into the second fence, and Ben Cone with a solo shot to left field opens the scoring here for the Baulko Hills Kookaburras. What a blast. You knew off the bat it was deep. Sangster went all the way back to the logs out there in deep left field and then watched it disappear over the fence out of his reach. And the first one is registered on a solo shot from Ben Cone.
And that brings into the plate the right fielder, Matt Martinson, for Baulko Hills.
Martinson pops one up into shallow centre field. Ross has a read on it out there. He comes in and he takes the catch pretty comfortably in centre field. And so Zane Ross gets an out there in centre field. Martinson retired. That will bring to the plate the imposing figure of Heath Gray. Probably about 6'6" of Heath.
And again, a good club person that we've actually seen throughout the ranks, work through the grades. Slow and steady, and now, well and truly has cemented the spot in first grade.
Ready to face Shaw Fuss. First pitch high fastball. Gray goes after it. Swings underneath it. Couldn't quite get up the ladder enough to it. Falls behind a strike. Certainly wasn't going to sell himself short on the swing though, but couldn't quite get up there to it. Breaking pitch from Shaw Fuss in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. So things off to an explosive start. Baulkham Hills struggled a little bit with their offence last week against Ride Hawks, and really it was only that 7th inning last week put them back in the game at 4-4, and then Ride got away with it late. Let's see if they get it going today. This one hit to Azapati, beats him on the third base side, kicks off his glove. Gray will round 1 and he'll be heading to 2. He's going hard, throws in time, throws good. It's close, but he's in. He's into second base with a double. The throw was a good throw from Sangster in the deep left field corners to the second baseman, Lachlan Ross. And Ross wheeled around to make a tag, but Heath Gray slid in underneath the tag. He made it to second base. He gets himself a double, so we've had a homer and a double already early in this game. And that will bring James Percival to the plate.
Yeah, James Percival, who's catching for the Baulkham Hill side. And sees the first pitch. And
drops it straight back to the pitcher.
Back.
It should be a fairly easy out for Shaw Fuss. It is. He just lobs it over to Mangione, the first baseman, and they will retire Baulkham Hills, but they won't do it before Ben Cone blasts one over the fence in left field. And we are through 1 completed innings here at Northmead Reserve, and it's Baulkham Hills with the early lead. They lead Cronulla by 1-0 after 1.
And as we did mention before, some of the sponsors that have come on board for the broadcast today, one of them is Red Stitches Baseball and Softball Specialists. So from baseball to softball, Little League to ABL, Red Stitches accommodate for all your needs around the diamond. Red Stitches are your one-stop shop for all your gear, including bats, gloves, uniform, caps, kit bags and balls. So you can go and see the guys at 65 Sefton Road, Thornlea, or if you're surfing the internet, get online, www.redstitches.com.au, or you can give them a call on 9484 0736. And don't forget that they have an absolutely special going on at the moment, and around about this time each year, given that it's Christmas time, free shipping. So free shipping for any item and anything that you purchase over $30. Just go online and speak to Ashley, Andrew or the guys at the store, and you get free shipping until Christmas. So
how much better could you do there, P-Mac? You need something for baseball, you go and you pick it up from Red Stitches. You whack it on there, and you're whacking away free shipping, and away it goes, and everyone's happy. It turns up in your door in about 3 days' time, and beautiful. You've got you don't pay anything extra than what you see on the catalogue. No extra shipping charges, no little hidden fees and charges. Just straight to your door at the price on the catalogue. That's it.
And again, I always harp on about supporting people that support the game, but the Red Stitches guys have been a part of baseball, not only in the Barara and Hornsby community side of things, but the sporting community as such, and there's a lot of work that they do that's not recognised, but it's hats off to those guys.
Yep, so anything you need baseball, softball, umpire related, you can pick it up at Red Stitches.
And scoring.
And scoring wise, pencil, new set of pencils, new scorebook, new pencil case, whatever it may be.
Okay, so Red Stitches Baseball and Softball Specialists, as we're about to head into the top of the second inning, with the Baulkham Hills leading this game 1-0.
John Collins to lead off for Cronulla is leading this Cronulla offence so far this season with a batting average of 500 coming into this game. Hits that one hard, but it's going to flare foul down the first base line and out of play. He's had a pretty good season with the bat so far. 3 long balls, 9 doubles. And as I said, batting 500 on the season in 15 games. So that's a pretty decent effort to still be batting that high in first grade after 15 games. This one is fouled off straight back at the plate. And it just clears the summer of baseball ute. the Sports Broadcasting Australia SUV that are parked over the back there.
Oh, okay. I didn't realise where you parked.
Right alongside the Summer of Baseball ute. Coming to the plate again for Collins. This one hit hard, but Stevens will have a play. Ranges a little bit to his right, comes up throwing and gets an easy out at first base. So John Stevens having a busy start. Sorry, Joe Stevens. John Stevens, the lead singer of Noiseworks.
Noiseworks.
I don't think he's out there at the moment. If he is, he'll be belting out a little bit of Take Me Back. Or other associated Noiseworks songs. Joe Stevens, it is, having a busy afternoon out there at the moment for the Baulko Hills Kookaburras. He has 3 of the 4 outs recorded so far for Baulko Hills, 4 in order, and Sangster to the plate now for Cronulla. First pitch from Cone, high and outside for a ball. Cone working well on the mound. Comes in, this one, a big swing and a miss from Sangster, trying to pull that one to left field. Not being able to get too much of it. Swings through, gets nothing at all. They count to 1 ball, 1 strike. As Cone delivers again, another swing. Cone working over the outside edge very nicely so far this afternoon. You can see that on those pitches, that Percival's sitting on around about that outside edge and everything going straight into his glove. So 1 and 2 now. It goes a little bit wider, and this time Sangster can lay off. Watch it miss for a count now of 2 balls and 2 strikes. It is 1-0 Baulko Hills after a Ben Cone bomb in the first. 2-2 pitch from Cone, swung on and missed, and Sangster goes down on strikes. The first strikeout victim of the afternoon for Scott Cone, and the 5th retired in order by the Baulko Hills Kookaburras. That brings to the plate for the Cronulla Sharks, Cole Smith. He'll bat from the left side, so he might be the first left-hander. In fact, I think he is the first left-hander.
That's the first one that we've seen so far.
That Cronulla have sent to the plate. So we'll see how Scott Cone goes against the first of the left-handers. He's retired the first 5 right-handers that he's seen without a problem. See how he goes against a lefty. Inside, staying on the exact same corner as he was throwing to the right-handers, just threw it to the left-hander, gets away with it. Smith has a swing. He tried to whip around on it. Couldn't make any contact, couldn't get the barrel around. Falls behind 0-1. Will we see Cone go to the other side? No, he stays there, gets a called strike. Stays on that inside edge again. Smith lays off it. Called strike, 0-2. You're right.
Just having a quick look at Cole Smith's numbers. Batting 345 for the 13 games that he's actually played in.
0-2 pitch is lined into left field, base hit. There's the first hit of the day for Cronulla. The no-hitter gone for Scott Cone here with 2 out in the second innings.
Second inning, no hitters gone. Well done.
And Cole Smith will stand aboard first base with a single to left field. A 2-out single here in the top of the second. And trying to get something rallying around for this Cronulla Sharks team as Ismail Adra heads to the plate for the Sharks now.
And Ismail looks like he's a late starter in the first grade competition, batting 250, but he's only been 12 at-bats, 4 games.
He might have shuffled his way up the grades with a few good performances in the lower grades and worked his way into this first grade side. As Cronulla are doing well in the lower grades as well, so we'll see how Ismail goes here against Scott Cone. Runner at first is Cole Smith. There's 2 away and they trail by 1. Called strike straight down the chute. 1 ball, 1 strike. Scott Cone not mucking around with that one. Adra steps in again. You see Cole Smith there at first base, takes his lead. The pitch is low and in the dirt, well handled by Percival. Got down and blocked it, covered it up nicely. 2 balls and 1 strike on Adra. Scott Cone has a good look long over at the runner. Comes to the plate this time. Swing and a miss from Adra. Sort of almost a late decision to go after that one, it looked like. Looked like he was thinking it might have been a curveball breaking down and into the dirt, and when he realised it was fastball that was going to be in the strike zone, he sort of just wafted the bat across at it.
Try to get something onto it.
Next pitch is in the dirt. Percival again picks it up nicely. Fills the count. 3 balls and 2 strikes now to Adra. Runner at first and 2 out. Scott Cone would not like to issue up a 2-out walk here in this second inning. give Cronulla a sniff and a runner into scoring positions. And he doesn't, but it's lined into right field anyway. Adra late on it again, but does what he needs to do. He puts the ball behind the runner, and that allows Smith to go from first to third. And Cronulla, with 2 outs, now have runners on the corners.
Yeah, real smart piece of hitting there by
Ismail. Yeah,
Adra.
Really nice piece of hitting.
Just went with the pitch, and that's all he did. Just leant on it, as you said, and that's going to, as you say, put runners in the corners, first and third occupied, with the right fielder batting in the 8th position, Quinton Exner. So Quinton Exner in the batting box. Just grab his numbers.
Exner's another one that hasn't had a massive amount of time in first grade. In fact, doesn't look like he's had a bat.
He hasn't had a bat in first grade.
So this may well be his first grade debut for Cronulla in the batter's box. So there's nothing up on the stat sheet, so we will take it as he hasn't had an at-bat at first grade this year, but a big at-bat for Cronulla here. Can he drive in a run? It's big swing and a miss to go to 1 ball and 1 strike. But a really good at-bat from Adra, who fell behind a little bit early, fought back, got it to a full count, and then slapped one into right field. Runner goes. This one's lifted into centre field. Shouldn't be too hard for Ben Cone. It's dying quickly, and it'll die in for a base hit in front of Ben Cone. Oh, gee, that really did die quickly. With 2 out, Adra going on the crack of the bat. He'll replace Cole Smith at third base, and Exner has a single, an RBI single, to drive in Cole Smith and lock this game up at 1-1. I thought with this breeze that has picked up and blowing out that one would have carried out to Ben Cone, but not to be. It died very quickly and just dropped in front. They say a little Texas Liga, or a little bleeding quail.
Yeah, a little dying quail, as we've actually heard being called before, and that's going to bring to the plate batting in the 9 hole, Zane Ross. And Zane Ross, 9 games that he's only had 3 at-bats. But he's been involved in 9 games with a batting average of 667.
Looks like another young Cronulla player that's come up through the ranks. Good to see Cronulla hanging on to some of their junior players and moving them up through the ranks in these last couple of years, something that they haven't done well in the last couple of decades. That they tend to lose a lot of their junior talent to other clubs, or lose them to baseball altogether, which is a real shame, because there's a lot of talented juniors come through that Cronulla region.
And there always has been, and that's why I actually do like seeing clubs such as Cronulla, Baulko Hills, Ryde, where they actually have the juniors that actually do feed straight up and straight into the state league and the major league competitions. So it's actually really good to see, and the coaching and the management side of things actually take the punt and blood new guys up in the higher ranks whenever they possibly can, and it's really good for a club, I suppose, feel, for want of a better term.
So Cone now a little bit rattled. He had 5 retired in order. Then he gave up a base hit to Cole Smith, a base hit to Ismail Adra, and a base hit to Exner, Quinton Exner. So 3 base hits in a row after retiring 5 in a row. Now Cone under pressure to Zane Ross. That one is straight down the chute. No problems with that one. That's 3 balls and 2 strikes. He needed to come to that plate on that 3-1 pitch. Interesting that Ross wasn't looking to hack at it, but obviously not. Obviously taking all the way. Now the full count pitch. That's close. It's on the outside edge for strike 3. It was tight. Now home plate umpire thought it caught the outside edge, and that will do me. Strike 3 called on Zane Ross, and so Scott Cone, in fact, will get himself out of a little bit of a jam, but not before the damage was done, giving up back-to-back-to-back hits, and that basically drove in Cole Smith, and that will send Baulko Hills to the dugout, but not before we were levelled up at 1 apiece. So we'll be back with the bottom of the second very, very shortly. And back at Northmead Reserve for the bottom of the second innings. A little bit of mental as anything, and that sort of sums up the broadcasts generally. A little bit as mental as anything. I'll get it out there, but it in the batting box. Scott Cone now trying to do it with the stick after having a good start on the mound and then just faltering a little bit at the end of that second innings to allow Cronulla to strike back, level the scores at 1 apiece. A breaking pitch just not coming down for sure fuss there as the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
We'll play your music, Cam. Much better than mine.
Just a little bit of everything. A very eclectic music collection I do have, and there's a little bit of anything. So if there is something in particular you want to hear, at Summer of Baseball on the Twitter handle, or you can send the SMS through to
0423 551 195.
There you go. And we can see what we can muster. I've got plenty on there, but as I said, it's very eclectic, so we'll see how we get on as the afternoon goes. Full count pitch popped straight up in the air. Adra, the shortstop, calling over everyone out of the way. He'll take it almost on second base in the end. And so the fly ball to the shortstop will get rid of Scott Cone. And 1 up, 1 down here in the bottom of the second innings. That'll bring Hayden Liberopoulos to the plate for Baulko Hills. Their 6, 7, 8 hitters were the due-ups. That was Cone, Liberopoulos and Stevens. First pitch is inside for a ball. Sure fuss, kicks the leg, fires, fastball, it's lifted out into centre right, it's in the alley, going back hard is Exner. He'll get there and take another good catch, good wheels out there from Quentin Exner to be able to run that one down. It was hit hard into the centre right alley, and Exner had to get on his bike and get after it quickly. We said the wind is blowing out that way. It is just quietened down a little bit in this half of the innings, but it certainly did help that ball travel a bit, and Exner had to take an extra probably 5 or 6 metres en route to get to that one, but ran it down nicely. Gets the second out here in the bottom of the second. Joe Stevens to the plate. First pitch from Stevens, yeah, absolute fastball down the tube. Didn't ever look like missing.
And Joe Stevens comes into this game after his 10 appearances, batting average of 235.
And instantly falls behind 0-2, and again Joe looks like another one of the younger players, one of the juniors that has worked their way through into this first grade team. 0-2 pitches low and outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Because we know, and we have actually reported before, that both of these clubs went through a significant rebuild and reshuffle, and we're seeing the fruits of both clubs, because they're starting to make their ways and their presence felt where they should be, and a lot of youth and talent.
Next pitch from Shaw Fuss comes in, breaking pitch in the dirt. That'll fill the count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. There was another low and outside pitch whilst we were chatting, but the full count pitch on its way, it'll miss downstairs again, so 3 missing in a row downstairs from Shaw Fuss, and he will issue up a 2-out walk to Joe Stevens. Not what you want to do.
Wouldn't be happy with that.
No, you've got 2 very quick outs, and then you give up a walk, put a runner back on bases, and that was the damage that was done to Baulko Hills in the top part of this innings, where they had 2 out very quickly, and then back-to-back base hits. In fact, 3 back-to-back base hits, and a run was in. So Clapton in the batter's box takes a called strike on the inside edge.
Yeah, so Luke Clapston, the third baseman for Baulko Hills side.
Clapton waits again now. Shaw Fuss fires, he chops it towards third base as a party. Comes forward a step or 2, makes a nice throw across the diamond to Mangione for the out. And that will retire the Baulko Hills Kookaburras. So we're through 2 completed innings here at Blacktown International Sports Park, where the score is sorry, at
where are you?
Northmead Reserve.
Where are you?
Brain into automatic mode there, PMAC.
Oh, something you're not telling me?
No, something that may not happen again in any time in the near future until semi-final time, perhaps. But Northmead Reserve, it is 1-1 after 2 completed innings. And back here at Northmead Reserve for the top of the third inning. And we're back to the top of the lineup for Cronulla. It will be Lachlan Ross, who grounded out to Joe Stevens, the second baseman, in his first bat of the afternoon.
And we can actually tell our viewers and listeners that we will be graced on the airways by El Presidente as we see this bat just well and truly.
Oh, he's booted it. It's going to be close. He's not going to get there. Ross will beat it out. So it was almost a replica of the first innings, where a hard hit ball towards Joe Stevens. Unfortunately, on this occasion, Joe Stevens couldn't come up with it. And Lachlan Ross will get aboard courtesy of the error to Joe Stevens.
Oh, there we go. We've thrown all of the good things, and it's a commentator's curse. It has just well and truly just whacked him across the face. So he's booted that one, but that will bring to the plate Andrew Azzopardi. And Andrew Azzopardi's first at bat was a fly ball.
See how Andrew goes this time, facing Scott Cone. He showed bunt and took the bat back and tried to slap a pitch, and all he managed to do was slap it foul.
So it just comes one strike.
So as a party gets ready to dig in again, see if he sends the runner or puts the runner in motion. Ross, a very good set of wheels. See what Azzopardi does. Takes this one down low. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And again, as mentioned, we'll take the opportunity, while Azza did actually come up to us this morning, a little bit earlier, and just gave us a cheerio to Joe, watching in the Philippines. So I hope you're enjoying the broadcast.
Yeah, nice pitch there from Cone. High fastball right on the top part of the zone. Azzopardi takes it for a called strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Azzopardi. Attempted breaking pitch, maybe a change-up that didn't break from Scott Cone, so I'd say it might have been a change-up. That being the case, count now to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Azzopardi goes after it, foul tips it into the glove of Percival, and that will be strikeout number 2 for Scott Cone this afternoon. He gets Azzopardi on strikes for the first out here in the top of the third. That'll bring to the plate Jared Mangione.
He's fly to 9 for his last at bat.
Mangione takes the first pitch high and outside. Mangione steps in again now. Waiting on Scott Cone. Cone has a good long look at the runner, Ross, and decides to fire to the plate. Misses high and outside for ball 2. So now Cone getting into a little bit of trouble on the mound. Scott Cone has to worry about the speed of Lachlan Ross, who is 3 for 4 in stolen base attempts this season. Watching him out of the corner of the eye. Comes to the plate. Swung on and missed from Mangione. The count now to 2 balls and 1 strike. Mangione steps out, just has a look at his third base coach for a set of signals. Gets what he wants to step back in. Cone to the plate, swung on, hit hard to centre field, but dying quickly. It's in for a base hit. Rounding second and putting on the brakes will be Ross. He was having thoughts about going to third, thought the better of it, but Mangione with that base hit now gives Cronulla runners at first and second with 1 out.
Only 1 out, and that's going to bring to the plate the catcher, John Collins. And John Collins, routine ground ball for his first at bat.
As we said, he is leading this Cronulla offense so far this season. As said, coming into this game with a batting average of 500. So it will be very interesting to see how they go about here, whether they put something on for John Collins.
Hit run.
Oh, with batting 500, you'd like to think so. Something very similar to that, but breaking pitch, fouled off, straight back under the camera. And ricochets back to the plate. Percival picks it up and fires it back to Scott Cone. Or do, with a batting average of 500, you just let him swing away, P-Mac, and take your chances.
Just make him do something.
Yep.
That way he doesn't have to think about the pitch that's coming to him, because he knows he's just got a job to do, move the runners around.
So Cone has a look around at the speedy Ross. Has a second look, pivots aren't interested. Comes to the plate, Collins had a good ball to hit there. Elevated fastball, he knows it. Fouls it off over the first base side, out of play. He's a bit disappointed in himself there, John Collins. Got the sort of pitch he was looking for. Just couldn't put it out into the field of play. So the count now is no balls and 2 strikes on John Collins. Runners at first and second and 1 away. Scores locked at 1 apiece. Cone kicks up, comes to the plate. Swing and a miss from Collins. It's in the dirt. He's done. With a runner at first base, he's gone on strikes. And so 2 strikeouts in the innings for Scott Cone, but still a runner in scoring position, the speedy Lachlan Ross. Going on the crack of a bat now with 2 out. He's a big chance to score if Dean Sangster can find a way to put one into the outfield. So Sangster to the plate, struck out his first time at the plate. Baulkham Hills fans will be hoping for a repeat of that. Cronulla fans will be hoping for a base hit. Breaking pitch inside, gets away from Percival. Ross goes, trouble at third. The throw's not good. The throw's on the foul base, the foul side of third base, and that allows Ross to get in there. So both runners will advance. Mangione up to second, Ross now to third. Cronulla with a real chance here to take the lead in the top of this third inning. They're locked at 1-1 currently. Scott Cone to the plate. Misses just upstairs. 2 straight balls now on Dean Sangster. Sangster now in a really good hitting position at 2-0 with 2 out. Must be sitting on a fastball on the outside edge of the plate. See what Cone delivers him. Goes fastball but misses inside, and Sangster was going after it. It looked like Percival was set up outside, but that Cone might have just crossed him up a little bit there. But Sangster was certainly going after that 2-0 pitch. Came up empty, 2-1. 2-1 pitch is where he wanted it. It's hit towards Stephen, who has to range to his left. Comes up with it, makes the throw to Gray to get the third out. So a big out there for Baulkham Hills. They will keep Cronulla scoreless, and Cronulla strand 2 on that 4-3 third out. They will get out of the innings, and when Baulkham Hills come to the plate in the bottom of the third, we will still be locked at 1 apiece.
There's no mucking around here at Northmead Reserve as we're going into the bottom of the 4th inning.
We don't want
third.
Yeah, we don't want to curse it with the speed of the play, but it's rolling along very nicely as Jared Bylighter into the batter's box. We're enjoying a bit of monster mash up here in the com box. A little bit of Boris in the Crypt kicker 5.
Oh, well done. Well done.
So Jared Bylighter is in the batter's box ready to go again, and he will take ball 4. So has seen 4 straight pitches for a walk, and that will give them the very speedy Bylighter on base. We know that he is a threat every time he's on there. 2 for 3 so far this season in stolen base attempts. We do know that, that with Bylighter aboard, although Ben Cohn, having said that, launched one to left field his last at bat, so not sure that you want to do too much silly with Bylighter on the base pads. Slider catches the outside edge. Nice pitch from Shaw Fuss. The first one of those I've really seen. A really nice slider.
And I guess he's not going to throw the same pitch that actually...
Well, it's not going to be an inside fastball, I can guarantee you that. Thanks to very deep at left field. Taking no chances this time. He's going to start deep and come forward. So Shaw Fuss just turns to first base to keep Bylighter honest up there. Bylighter picking up his 8th walk of the season. Shaw Fuss to the plate. Nice bunt down the third base line. It's going to bunt for a base hit as a party has no play at all. Has to hang on to it. Turns to get Bylighter. It's close, but he's back at second base.
Wow.
Smart play by Azzopardi. Sort of faked the throw towards first base and then pivoted around and fired to second base. Lachlan Ross applied the tag, but Jared Bylighter head first back into second base. Gets back safely. So Ben Cohn picks up a bunt single.
Who'd have thought?
Gets himself aboard and probably just caught Andrew Azzopardi napping a little bit there at third base and picks up himself a base hit. Gives Martinson a chance now to drive in Bylighter from second base. So first and second occupied. Nobody out. This one's popped straight up. And
should be an infield fly.
Should be an infield fly. It is called. Both the umpires have got it. And so it made no difference as to whether it was caught or just because John Collins didn't really pick it up, didn't get after it. And Shaw Fuss, the pitcher, Skylar Shaw Fuss, was coming down off the mound. He was going to get it. And Collins just explaining it went straight up into the sun and he lost all vision of it. But as it was, Mangione from first base came down and took the catch anyhow. But as was noted by PMAC and the umpires, it made no difference. An infield fly was called. And the umpires getting it right again. And getting rid of Matt Martinson to bring Heath Gray to the plate. Right, Heath Gray goes after the first pitch fastball again up in the zone. And again, Heath Gray couldn't quite catch up to it. So Heath Gray's seen a couple of those high fastballs to start off with. And on a couple of occasions hasn't been able to catch up with them. He's got a job to do. He doubled down the third base line just on the inside of Azzopardi, who got a glove to it. His last at bat. If he does that, he'll certainly score one, if not two. Nice breaking pitch from Shaw Fuss. Misses. Probably a little bit on the high side. John Collins just asking where it missed. And that's what he was told. Just looked like it hung up in the zone there a little bit and didn't quite make it down. So 1-1 on Heath Gray. Runners at first and second. Another high fastball. Gray goes after it again and can't catch up to it. So you know where your strikeout pitch is. It's about another 3 inches above where that one was.
That's it. I was just looking at Martinson, how he got out, and that was the infield fly.
The pop-up that landed almost back on home plate. So Shaw Fuss looks around, fires in a fastball, which is chopped foul by Heath Gray, who collected himself after it bounces off the leggings of John Collins and back into the field of play.
There you go, and I can actually tell you, Cam, that it is a big afternoon or good evening or good morning to Joey Azzopardi, from the Philippines, because as I did say to give the cheerio, and here is the cheerio once again, because they just asked where could they find us, and they've just got the big thumbs up on the screen, so all's good in the world.
Beautiful. So we can tick the Philippines off countries listened to.
We can tick everywhere off.
There's not many left, P-Mate. We've gotten right around this globe in the years we've been doing the Summer of Baseball by Sports Broadcasting Australia. Gray with a hard chopper. Tough play in the hole for Adra. Fires a good arm to get Gray at first base. Nice play from Ismail Adra at shortstop. He was deep in the hole on the hard high chopper from Heath Gray. He had to backpedal.
Took forever to come down.
Exactly right. He backpedaled and waited on it and then just fired a strike across the diamond to Mangione and still got Gray by a step or two. That holds Bylighter at third. It holds Cone at second. And there's now 2 out, importantly, for Cronulla here in this bottom of the third.
And that brings to the plate the catcher, James Percival. And he sees the first pitch for ball one.
Just a little comebacker in his last at bat, straight back to Shaw Fuss on the mound. So I'm sure he'll want to hit it a little bit further this time. Maybe through the infield would be a goal, but we'll see how he goes here as he's in front. 2 balls, no strikes now.
Through the infield's always a goal, Cam.
Sure Fuss firing slider after slider, but missing them mostly down and away. Falls behind 3-0. That one finds the strike zone, makes the necessary adjustments. Now a big pitch, 3-1 to Percival. Good hitting pitch. You should be looking fastball. It is fastball, but it's upstairs. Percival lays off it, and he gets himself a base on balls.
Fills them.
That will indeed fill them, and it brings Scott Cone, the pitcher, to the plate. So now a chance to give himself a little bit of leeway on the mound. Give himself a couple of runs. He'd love a couple of runs lead to go back out to.
There's not a great deal of time between pitches, eh?
No, Sure Fuss is not fussing about, is he? He's getting in there, he's doing what he needs to do, and getting pitch after pitch, works at a nice rhythm. He's ready to go, and Scott Cone just has to adjust himself. That misses outside. Danger of walking a run in here with 3 straight balls to to Scott Cone, with the bases loaded. Big pitch from Sure Fuss. Finds the strike zone, needed to.
And the bat was left well and truly on
loaded,
Scott Cone's
loaded
shoulder.
bases, 2 outs. You'd almost be taking 3 pitches.
Right,
Scott Cone asks for time.
Busting up the rhythm.
Steps out of the batter's box. Slows Sure Fuss down. Next pitch comes. It is on the bottom corner of the strike zone. Very nice pitch from Sure Fuss. But tempting fate. 3-2 pitch. Runners go. It's hit hard into centre field. Ross goes back. Looks like he's got a read on it.
No,
it tails around, but he can't catch it. It bounces off the glove, goes to the wall, and it will clear the bases. So Baulko Hills will score 3 runs on a hard hit ball to centre field that was tailing away from Zane Ross. Looked like he had a read on it, and he just tailed away. At the last minute, he made a stretch at it, kicked it off the end of the glove, and it went all the way to the wall. So Baulko Hills pick up 3 and now lead at 4-1 over Cronulla.
Yeah, there was no way at all that the centre fielder there had it, because you could actually see from, and I'm probably in a better position because I'm not looking at through people. It was just tailing with this wind as we see the next pitch is high and out of the zone. So 2 straight balls on Hayden Liberopoulos, left fielder for Baulko.
Liberopoulos has a swing. This one's hit up the middle. That's going to possibly drive in a run. Rounding third and heading to the plate will be Cone. He'll do it easily. He'll do it in a trot. So 2 out, going on the crack of the bat. Got a good jump. Roundy comes and scores. So make it 4 in the innings. And it is now 5-1 Baulko Hills over Cronulla. So big innings as Liberopoulos keeps the 2 out rally alive.
And then that's going to bring to the plate second baseman, number 76, Joe Stevens.
With Baulko Hills, they had runners on second and third when the second out was recorded. They've now scored 4. This has popped up, going to get out of play, just land right behind us, and almost running back into the commentary box, that one.
I get it. And you did actually make the comment before, Cam, that with 2 out, what's going to happen? Oh, guess what? It's happened. 4 runs have been scored.
Stephen takes the curveball, which is high, for 1 ball and 1 strike on Stevens now. So Baulko Hills with a flurry of runs here in the bottom of the third. Give them a 5-1 lead. Stevens swings. He hits this hard to centre left. Getting around on it, Sangster. He will make the catch.
Yep.
So Sangster getting around from left field to make the catch for the 3rd out. So Baulko Hills retired, but not before they add 4 runs on the board. And after 3 completed innings here at Northmead Reserve, it is the Baulko Hills Kookaburras leading the Cronulla Sharks by 5 runs to 1.
And as we did mention before, there are a couple of sponsors that we would actually like to take the opportunity to thank throughout the game. And the one up on your screen at the moment is Fire Equip. And Fire Equip Proprietary Limited, they were founded in 1989 and they're based in Rydalmere, New South Wales. And they come from humble beginnings. Fire Equip is now a well-established company employing 30 staff members, and it's a major supplier of extensive range of specialised products to the fire protection and building industry. So they stock a vast range of products including metal pipe fittings, couplings, hydrant assemblies, valves, sprinklers, fire extinguishers, tools and pipe fabrication equipment. Fire Equip also have manufacturing capabilities for the fabrication of sprinkler systems for commercial and residential buildings. So why not jump online, and you can visit them at www.fireequip.com.au if you've got any queries, questions, or they might be able to help you out with some fire equipment that you need in your commercial or residential property. And their address is 2 Pike Street, Rydalmere, New South Wales. As I said, contact them at fireequip.com.au, or you can give them a telephone. How about give them a call, not a telephone call?
I'm sure they'd love a telephone, but
they might want a telephone. So 9638 1300. That's 9638 1300. Fire Equip as game day sponsor of Baulko Hills.
Yeah, perfect time of year, PMAC, to be checking your smoke alarms, getting
Correct.
new ones, maybe an extinguisher or a fire blanket for your kitchen or something like that. So go and see the good people at Fire Equip. I'm sure they will have everything you could need to make sure your home is fireproofed as best as possible. So to the top of the fourth innings we head, and all of a sudden blown wide open by Baulko Hills, leading 5-1. Cronulla now into the grind to try and get this one back a little bit. The fourth innings will start with Cole Smith, who started and scored the only run of the afternoon for Cronulla in the second innings, and takes a called strike to start things off here in the fourth. So Smith facing Cone for his second occasion this afternoon. Cone just misses outside. It was a good looking pitch, but didn't quite catch the zone. Nice little bit of cut on it there from Scott Cone. Scott Cone kicks that leg up, comes to the plate. This one looks a little bit better. No, just misses in the same location. So it was almost two identical pitches. And, you know, all you can ask for from the home plate umpire is consistency, and that's all that you're getting. In two pitches in the same location, called exactly the same. It's good umpiring.
Correct.
So Cone now behind 2 balls and 1 strike. Goes after this one, does Smith, chops it towards Stevens, who will get it on the run and just underhand it to Heath Gray for a very comfortable 4-3. And that was the way this top of the fourth will start for Cronulla, with a ground out to second base. That brings to the plate Ismail Adra for the Cronulla Sharks, and he had a base hit his first time too, slapping one down the right field line, and that was what was required to move Cole Smith around to third and eventually score a run for Cronulla. So Cone to the plate. That's a good looking pitch for a called strike. Cone steps up again. This one misses downstairs.
Just adjusting
Swing
a couple of
and a miss
microphones
from Adra, and he now goes to 1 ball and 1 strike.
As we did mention before, that we were going to be joined by a guest throughout the broadcast here. Someone who's been doing a little bit of travelling that we'll get to in the next part of the inning.
So Baulko Hills with that 4-run lead, courtesy of the bottom of that third inning. Now Adra behind 1 ball and 2 strikes as he tries to get something going for Cronulla here in the top of the fourth. Cone delivers a breaking pitch, and a beautiful breaking pitch freezes Adra and gets him called on strikes. So Scott Cone with a lovely breaking pitch then got it to come down. The breeze dropping off a little bit here. It's a little bit fluky, the breeze, and on that occasion there was no breeze. The ball broke beautifully. Adra frozen at the plate. 2 gone here, top of the fourth.
And that will bring to the plate the right fielder for Cronulla. It's Quinton Exner.
Swings through the first pitch he sees for a strike.
And we saw his first at bat was a big shot to centre field.
And hacks that one straight back to the plate, straight back here in front of the commentary position. Glove was up, P-Mac, you're ready for it?
Always ready. Always ready.
So he is behind 0-2 now and in a hole against Scott Cone. We see the breaking pitch again from Cone here, will we? Let's see what he comes up with. No, it goes fastball straight down the outside edge, and that will be strike number 3. A couple of very nice 2-strike pitches there from Scott Cone, and that will be all she wrote for the Cronulla Sharks here in the top of the 4th. They will go down in order, 1, 2, 3 like that, and we're heading to the bottom of the 4th with Baulkham Hills leading Cronulla by 5 runs to 1. P-Mac.
Yeah, Cam, and we did actually make mention that we're going to be joined in the commentary team by a favourite of ours, because there's no denying it. Yeah, we do enjoy coming here, and it's a good afternoon to El Presidente, Don Baulko. Good afternoon.
Hello, Paul. How are you, Cam? All good?
Afternoon, Don. Pleasure to have you with us again.
Always.
So, mate, definitely a young team that you've got on the park. What we've seen the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I guess we're in I guess not a semi-rebuilding phase, but a rebuilding phase. And we consciously made that decision a few years ago, as you guys would be aware. And I guess over the last couple of seasons, we've been surprised at the results that we've had. Like, we made that epic grand final last year.
Correct.
And, with a bunch of kids and a couple of old stages. But we're even younger this year, and all looking good for the future, for sure.
Well, the good thing about it is that it's not just your first grade squad. You've actually got a full club of young guys that are coming through.
Yeah.
So
I guess, and I'm hoping that we can, reap the benefits over the years to come too, with with the invention of the little league stuff and whatnot.
When you're 18 to doing well, they're sitting atop the table, which is only augurs well for the growth of the club for those boys to come through and play higher grades.
Yeah, so all looking good.
And so you actually, as we're just about to see, Luke Clapson, third baseman, lead off the bottom of the 4th inning, and the first pitch is in the dirt, ball 1. So you're actually...
Well, just sorry, mate.
Yep.
Just on Luke. Luke's a classic example of what we're doing. He's still eligible for 18s, as is young Dormer, and we made a conscious decision in conjunction with their parents at the start of the season to play him up in the grades, which obviously opens up spots in the 18s and gives other kids opportunities to hit it down there, pardon me. But these kids are good enough to play this grade.
I was going to say, and also shows them off to other talents as he rips this one straight at the shortstop, who takes a diving catch. Adra had to lay out to his glove hand and gets it right in the pocket for a nice catch, but a well-hit ball by Clapton. But he will go down on that line drive to the shortstop, Adra. And just on that, it also opens up those young blokes to opportunities of like the academies and developmental pathways up to other grades and other places, which is great to see.
Yeah, and just on that subject, as we see young Jared take the first pitch, I think that's foul down left field side.
I think he's old, Jared, now, mate. I think he's the oldest flag in the team.
I'm being polite for you, mate, because if we say he's old, that makes you old.
He's 27. Well, I am old. He's 27, so it's all good.
But you've formed a bit of an allegiance with your little league squads and stuff.
We got a few of those boys coming down there. Well, it was a sort of a mutual agreement thing.
Lifts one into left centre. It's going to drop in for a base hit.
Bylight is special, that one.
Wipe the blood off it.
So we've got some of the little league boys coming down to work out with our boys over Tuesday and Thursday night.
Yep.
So they can see what we do here, and hopefully you get them next season when they come through, which I'm pretty sure we will.
Guaranteed.
But the secret is getting them here and keeping them here, I guess. But if you keep them happy, and give them those opportunities Cameron was talking about, you're way in front of them all the time.
And that's all, as I said, and the other thing, as you say, of keeping them happy, it's also a little bit this day and age too, keeping the parents happy. You mentioned that you had a meeting with the parents of a couple of the young boys, Clapson and Dormer. As we see this one popped straight up in the diamond, going back, Adra, the shortstop. He looks like he's got a read on it and takes a fairly comfortable catch there at shortstop for the second out. It also shows those parents that you're doing the right thing by them, and it keeps them at the club, and they don't get disillusioned and look elsewhere for opportunities for their kids.
And I guess we've got Jason Dormer here as well, and he's a massive help around the club in situations like that, because he's been around for at the top level for a long time, and he says that's what that's what we should be doing. He's all for it, so we run with that stuff. So.
And also notice that you've got a couple of additional sponsors this year.
Yeah, worked hard in the off season to grab some sponsors, and I guess.
Well, it's nice to see that on the back you've got
hard hit ball by Martinson back up the middle. Will be a base hit. Baulko rounds first trips. And he'll have to go back to second base. Yes, he just caught his foot as he was trying to get around second base. Nearly went face first and managed to balance up and get back to the base. So Martinson with a 2-out hit to centre field keeps it alive. Runners at first and second now with 2 out for Baulkham Hills here, bottom of the 4th, leading at 5-1.
And Heath Gray about to step into the batting box. But yeah, I was just about to comment that you got power packaging on the back of your shirts. You've got what is it, fire equip on the and red stitches on the sleeve.
Elite Sports clothing, and really give you blokes a wrap there, because you guys give us the opportunity to showcase the sponsors off.
Gray pops one up into foul territory as a party goes after it. Doesn't really have a read on it and turns his back on it and really throws that one up into the trees after he doesn't
come back.
Take
It come off the tree. No one's got to go get it. So
that's a good thing.
So just a foul for Heath Gray there, but one that was a little bit of an interesting foul.
So you guys and the live streaming gives clubs the opportunity to do that,
and we enjoy doing it too.
No, it's good. It's good for the game, really.
As we see, just one foul, 1 strike on Heath Gray. Runs at first and second.
Shows bunt. But bunts it straight back to Shaw Foss, who will throw him out at first base fairly comfortably. Shaw Heath Gray was hoping to send that down the Azapati direction, but couldn't get it around that corner. So he will go down on the 1-3, and that will be it for Baulkham Hills here in the bottom of the 4th. I'll leave a couple of runners stranded, but we are done through 4 completed innings here at Northmead Reserve, where Baulkham Hills lead Cronulla 5-1, and we'll continue our chat through the middle of the innings with Baulkham Hills President Don Bylighter. Don, again, the ground looking in sensational condition. I know you were away last week and the boys did a massive job to be able to even get a game on here. I was thinking, by the time Sunday morning came around, no chance, but the boys really put in last week.
Yeah, no, it was, I've never, 3 weeks ago when we played here last, it was the worst I've ever seen in the ground. And obviously having no rain doesn't help. But
exactly, yep.
But we got a recognised greenkeeper in to tell us what was wrong with it, and
wouldn't be related to you, would he?
Yeah, it could be. Cost me money, let me tell you. Not like his father.
Not on the beer economy.
Right? Yeah, no, but it's
didn't bring any golf club stuff down here.
No, he may have, all the way from I can't say where.
Very nice golf course that he works at.
My word. Yeah, so we got him down and he checked a few things out for us and come back pretty good. Just on that Heath Gray at bat, I think that might have been a missed signal, boys.
You think?
Looking at the coach, I'm pretty sure it would be.
I don't understand why Heath would have been bunting. He's a big, powerful man, and to get him to lay one down is a little bit strange. But
2 out, and he's not the quickest man.
Yeah, exactly right. I said I can understand if he'd have dragged it around the corner and got it down the third base line and made Andrew Azapati try to make a play. Yeah. But when you drop a bunt straight back down at the pitcher with 2 out, it's a little bit of a strange decision.
Yeah, no, anyway.
But with a 4-run lead, Baulkham Hills are doing it okay at the moment. A retired 5 in order going into this, the top of the 5th inning, as Scott Cone finishes his warm-up pitches. And we are ready to go here in the top of the 5th. Hitter 9, Zane Ross will lead it off. 9-1-2 due up here in the top of the 5th.
And just going to quickly ask Don, and I probably know the answer, but what were the expectations for the club this year, given that it is such filled with so many young guys?
Look, as I said, like last year, we surprised ourselves, I think. But last year, we had the Larcher that was here, but Frank's back, and he had an outstanding year, and
correct.
And I guess we did a lot on the back of him with both his pitching and his hitting. Look. We're pretty confident that we can make the playoffs.
Yep.
And
got a magic number? Because we've actually been picking around just under 500.
Yeah, 500 is about the number.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident we'll go into Christmas.
As a comebacker straight to the mound, Scott Cone takes care of it.
500 or better. But in saying that though, we have to win those games. We've got that. We've got the catch-up game against Manly up our sleeve too.
Yeah.
But as I said, we have to win that.
Yeah. And speaking of winning games, one of the early games here, I think it was 3rd grade, where Yeah, I know my opinion. I thought the umpire did a fantastic job and did a great call. But if you're a Baulko fan, probably not.
I think he was out. Yeah. Oh, the boys weren't happy, obviously. But, that's baseball, isn't it? Like they should. Well, to be totally honest, they shouldn't have been in that position in the first place.
Correct. But it ended up being a draw, 7-all.
Yeah, we got out of it. So, a draw's obviously always better than a loss. So.
Correct. Draw counts as half a win.
Yeah. Just getting back on the young brigade, right? And like our club, but hats off to Cronulla too. Like I think they're adopting the same model. And I was down here yesterday, and someone said that they've got
hard hit ball to third baseman Clapsman. Clapson gets it across the diamond for the easy out. 2 gone.
Seven of their juniors in the under-16 state team. So, the future's looking pretty good for them as well.
I said that to PMAC early in the broadcast. It was really good seeing a couple of their young blokes, Zane Rosser in particular, and a couple of those guys. It's good to see Cronulla finally getting their juniors through to first grade. It's been a long time coming. They've had good juniors for probably 30 years.
Yeah.
I know when I was playing down there in the juniors as a junior, they had a strong junior base back then, and they just could never quite translate that into a strong first grade outfit for whatever reason, losing players to other clubs or other sports or the beach and lifestyles that you get down there in that Cronulla area. But it's really good to see them actually working hard on that pathway to bring their juniors through. I mean, was it the Cronulla boys, I think a couple of years ago, went to the World Series for the Little League.
Correct.
It's good to see those players starting to come through.
And the good thing about it is that some of them have actually stayed within the club.
Yeah, I think they've sort of got their act. Well, obviously got their act together because they're keeping them now. And I know young James Philibossin's back. Like he left last year, so
pop up straight up in the air should be an easy play for Stevens, the second baseman. He will take it. And that will be 3 up, 3 down, and that will be 7, 8 retired in order. In fact, 8 in order now for Baulkham Hills. We've got a little bit of a roll on, and they will head to the bottom of the 5th inning, leading at 5-1 over the Cronulla Sharks.
Yeah, and I think people like Az have done a great job down there. Since he went there, and I know Matty Cavill does a lot of work in the background. So I think they've got their baseballers. They know it's got to happen, and they're implementing it. I think if you have a look at their side out there today, they've probably got 4 or 5 kids.
Yep, probably qualified for 18s or thereabouts. Yep.
Stevie Ross's young blokes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or thereabouts, as you say. Yep.
And like they got.
They certainly have.
Still hanging around here, but they got young Ethan Stacey, who made probably one of the best plays I've ever seen in 18s yesterday.
That's right.
And he's an outstanding talent. So they're looking good too.
Yeah, and I actually made the same comment earlier that it was good to see that clubs like yourselves, the Cronullas, and to a degree the Rides and stuff, where you actually got your juniors and you're actually well and truly showing a pathway that the juniors can go to. So it was actually very pleasing. So, what other exciting things have been going on in your baseball world, Don?
Oh, nothing. I just had 2 weeks off baseball and come back, and really nothing's changed.
We know that you did tune in a little bit for from the Apple Isle as best you could, because it was in between tours, I believe.
I was actually in a brewery when you sort of gave me that shout out, but I appreciate that. It's all good.
We did say at the time what tour. Just went there to examine the taps and make sure the taps were clean and the glasses were nice and chilled.
Yeah.
As we've got James Percival, who's leading off for the Baulkham Hills guys at the bottom of the 5th inning, and he's seen 2 pitches. First one was a called strike, and the second one he's actually fouled over the back here. And next pitch is well and truly low and away. So 1 ball, 2 strikes on James Percival.
1-2 pitch on its way, swing and a miss from Percival. He will go down on strikes. That's the first out here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Yeah, and I guess like I agree that the import rule is strengthened the comp. There's no doubt about that. And hopefully it can be sustained. And I guess we've sort of got lucky where Heath and Frank have met Aussie girls, and they both look like staying here. So it stops us, doesn't sort of
as I said,
helps us.
Well, if things work out, they become residents. Correct.
Right? But and I'm pretty confident they'll stay around too. So we we don't have to go looking for imports at this point in time to bolster our ranks, because I'm not saying they're hard work, but it is.
Well, they're hard to find, and they need to play.
It's a drain on a club, right, to get them. And those clubs that do it, they would agree with me. There's no doubt. But as I said, I think it's a good thing.
One off the handle out to centre field, dying in, but taken comfortably out there by Zane Ross. So 2 up, 2 down for Baulko Hills, bottom of the 5th here.
I think it's a good thing.
You've got to have it. If it strengthens the comp, it's something that has to happen. You want the competition as strong as possible, so that hopefully, that then you take that to the next level. When you go from state league up to that next level, that you can pick, 22 very strong baseballers, and New South Wales baseball can be very strong again at the representative levels.
But like when you've got a talent like this kid here, this like Hayden Lightropoulos in the box, I think he's 16. And you certainly don't need to bring him out here.
Right. And it was actually quite funny, because I was going through the lineup last week, and I'm thinking, no, he's not. He's only young. He's young.
Yeah, well,
and some have also.
Guys.
It was, because, and also some of these guys we've actually seen up at the MLB Academy when it was up on the Gold Coast there a couple of years back.
Iberopoulos chops it to Adra. Adra on the one hop, he'll fire it across, and that will be 3 done here in the bottom of the 5th. So we're through 5 completed innings here at Northmead Reserve in the beautiful Baulko Hills. And it is Baulko Hills with a nice lead. They lead Cronulla by 5-1 after 5 completed innings.
And I'm going to take the opportunity to thank one of the game day sponsors here. It's Boards and Bench Tops. Boards and Bench Tops were established in 1985, and they provide the products and services including flat pack cabinets and customised bench tops to customers working within the cabinetry field and the building industry, and they fulfil your needs of cutting, edging, drilling and routering with precision and accuracy on the state-of-the-art machinery including beam saws, CNC routers and a large commercial edge bander. And the method of production will guarantee that your components are manufactured to the highest standard of quality in a reasonable amount of time frame at a competitive price that suits your budgets. And you can actually get on board and go to www.boardsandbenchtops.com.au, or you can give them a call on 96802925. It's Boards and Bench Tops, game day sponsor for Baulko Hills.
And here at Northmead Reserve, beautiful Sunday afternoon. You're listening to the Summer of Baseball, proudly brought to you by Sports Broadcasting Australia. Big Cam Hickson here, PMAC on the side, of course, joined here in the commentary box at this time by President of the Baulko Hills Kookaburras, Don Bylighter. And Don, again, a beautiful turnout here at Northmead. You guys know how to do game day out here. Good crowd up under the canteen awning there in the shade, and under the trees and round the back. Bit of music happening up the end there, and good day out here at Northmead again, put on for everybody.
We had a great day up there actually. I had to go and buy more rolls.
Oh, there you go. Canteen obviously pumping as well. As I said, there were plenty of people when we rocked up about 12. Well, I rocked up about at 12:45 to get things set up. So really good crowd in for the lower grades, and a lot of them have stuck around. Top of the 6th inning here in front of us. Jared Mangione to lead things off for Cronulla. Scott Cohn still working on the mound for Baulko Hills. Finds a strike to start things off.
He's throwing pretty well, Scott.
Is indeed. He was working over, as I said to PMAC, finding that outside edge very well in those first couple of innings to keep them away. Just lost it a little bit with 2 out in that second innings. He gave up a couple of back-to-back hits, but has settled down and has gotten well back into it. Retired 8 in order coming into this batter. That's a called strike, so that'll be 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Mangione.
And Donnie, I was going to ask, because we sort of, someone went missing on us last week that we thought was going to turn up, and he's a guy who, as we see this next
Mangione
pitch,
launches it down the left field line, but it's tailing and it'll be out of play foul.
Bad luck, eh?
It was a well hit ball, but
why have you got a smile on your face?
It depends on which side of the fence you sit on, Don. And as you say, if you're a Baulko Hills supporter, it missed by a mile. If you're a Cronulla supporter, it was just foul.
So one of your boys that we were expecting to see him, but he's missing in action. He hasn't even returned my call, which is a concern.
I can't say much because I wasn't sort of here, but no, he's pretty much tied up with the state 18s, and
fair enough.
And he obviously coaches our 18s and is doing a great job. But I think
It's all right. Just as long as he's still installed.
I know he now has a lovely Lakin in his life. So.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying he's in love?
Oh, yeah.
Not just in love with baseball.
That's
So
right.
what's this balance thing?
Yeah, balanced, exactly right.
There we go.
Yeah, no, he's a good boy, Phil.
Mangione takes one downstairs.
Sorry again.
You're on.
I'm sure that there was something. If he was coming, he would normally come, but something must happen. But all good though.
That's it. We worked our way through as we see full count on Jared Mangione.
Full count pitch from Cone on its way, swung on, hit hard towards shortstop. Bylighter has to backhand it, slide, comes up, throwing and gets him by a yard at first base.
Pretty to watch.
Nice play from Jared Bylighter on his backhand side into the 5-6 hole. Had to slide and make sure he grasped it, then up to the feet and throwing with a good strong arm to throw Mangione out by about a yard and a half there at first base for the first out here in the top of the 6th order. And that makes it 9 in order that Baulkham Hills have retired since 1 out in the 3rd inning.
So a play like that, you'll feed him?
He don't live with me anymore. But yeah, I guess he's got to get those genes from somewhere, hasn't he?
Hit hard to centre field, that one from Collins, but straight down the throat of Ben Cone. So 2 pitches, there's 2 outs for Baulkham Hills here in the top of the 6th. Things rolling along very quickly for Baulkham Hills here.
Oh dear, I don't believe you're going to take that. Oh dear. So Dean Stankster, the left fielder for Cronulla coming in.
Cronulla picked up a few, players from other clubs too. Like you got Dean Sangster here, Maxie Brennan,
Jared,
Azza. Azza was there last year, and I think Jared was there last year.
Right. Okay.
And as I said, James Philibossian's back. So no, that's they're doing the right things.
Entitles them to a run at the semi-finals. Absolutely.
Yeah, and obviously players move for a reason. So.
Yeah, that's exactly
Obviously
right. They're not happy where they were, exactly right. Or they've moved for work.
You just don't know. But no, they've done well, Cronulla.
Little foul tip there.
They've done well
from Dean Sangster to put him in a hole now. 0-2.
And I see we got the State League Imports game on, eh?
Yes,
January.
Yes, January. I think the 11th from memory.
Yep, it's a good thing.
So that will be a good game, as this is a swing and a miss from Sangster. He's down on strikes. Make it 9-11 in a row now. Retired by Scott Cone and the Baulkham Hills Kookaburras. And as we head to the bottom of the 6th, 5-1 it is that Baulkham Hills lead Cronulla.
And yeah, you're right with that. The Imports game, we've actually been approached by one of the organisers to do a broadcast of it down there at MacArthur.
Oh, it's at MacArthur. I was going to say, I'm glad it's at MacArthur, because I don't know if part of this commentary team's allowed in the commentary boxes at the other venue at the moment that we shall not mention.
So, well, we wait and see. But as far as I'm aware, it's it is still in Campbelltown or Gilchrist Reserve.
Yeah.
So, and again, we know that the MacArthur guys do put on a really good time.
It should have been,
fireworks.
like after last year's game, it should have been on the calendar all the time. It should never have been
Correct.
taken off.
Correct.
So they.
Correct.
Oh, look, don't get me wrong. They played the All Stars versus the Blue Sox, and then the Blue Sox versus the Imports. But it was the State League Committee's initiative last year to do that. So I found it a bit a bit disheartening that we weren't allowed to play it. But anyway, we're now playing it, so all good, and it'll be a good game. It was a great spectacle last year,
it's what a lot of the State League fans want to see. They want to see those guys, the best of both leagues going against one another. Just to see where both sort of leagues sit. Where it's always good to have those sort of representative fixtures and all-star games and home run derbies and all that sort of thing that we can try and put on and get more people interested in the State League.
There's a market out there. I went out to the All-Star Blue Sox game and the State League Blue Sox game.
No,
I've been.
Did you go to Blacktown?
I did.
Did it hurt?
No. Oh, I did.
Sorry.
$8 a beer it hurt. Right, I had one. Might have two.
Wow.
Yeah. But there's people out there that you never see around State League baseball.
Yeah.
And to me, the only way that is that they probably don't know about it, because all the Blue Sox players are playing they're playing in their club. So if they're
Correct.
if they've got a favourite player, they can go anywhere, any weekend to see him play.
That's it, and up close and personal. I mean, you can't get much closer than some of these grounds to be able to stand alongside the dugout and watch them do what they do the best.
So you're leading along the lines of promote?
Absolutely, but
promote or perish?
I've been saying that for years. No, not just me. Sorry, quite a few of us have been saying that. But
as we're going into the bottom of the sixth inning, it'll be led off by second baseman Joe Stevens, who's had a walk and a fly 7.
Who I believe is only 16 too. Just outstanding talent, this kid.
There you go. So you've just put the kiss of death on him. You do realise that? As soon as you put headphones on and start talking on a microphone.
I think we've had a change on the mound, gentlemen. That is not Skylar Shaw Foss throwing the pitching.
Oh, we'll find out from the scorers, because they'll tell us that there was a change, I'm sure.
2 straight balls.
Alex Brooks, there we go.
Lovely. I was going to say, it didn't look like Skylar Shaw Foss coming back out.
So Alex Brooks.
So Brooks into the game here, bottom of the 6th, and a little foul ball there from Stevens. I believe that makes the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Let's see if I can dig through my stats and see what we can find on Alex Brooks. Yep.
You have to turn
He's 1-1 with an ERA of 5.25 so far this season. So he's appeared in 5 games. So obviously doing a fair bit of work in relief. 12 innings pitched for Cronulla. So rolling along nicely, and that'll make it 2 balls and 2 strikes as Joe Stevens tries to lead off this bottom of the 6th for Baulko Hills. 3rd innings, the big one for Baulko Hills. 4 runs in it. That has set up this 5-1 lead that they comfortably hold at this point in time in the bottom of the 6th. 2-2 pitch is a breaking ball down in the dirt.
And I do believe, Paul, that we're taking ownership back of our awards night too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What a novel idea.
Yeah. So.
Sorry, you know how much that hurts me. What they did to it.
Stand by there. So. But no, we've got the okay to organise ourselves.
2-2 pitch fouled off.
And it will be just state league, which is what it should be. And
correct.
The venue
always should be.
The venue will be decided shortly, I believe.
And so it would be intentionally maintained as the Lionel Harris Award.
Exactly.
And similar to what our godfather was actually instrumental in promoting and trying to get on board.
Like the way the way that season ended last year without an awards night.
Swing and a miss from Stevens, and he goes down on strikes.
When you have someone like Valacha that wins it by an absolute mile.
Country mile,
to be handed at 11 o'clock at night with no bugger there, wasn't really the right way to do things. So
and you're being far more polite than I was.
Yeah. But that can't be helped because we got it could have been helped. But
I was going to say it could have been helped. My word, it could have.
But anyway,
so clapped in the batter's box.
But so that's all back on the table. So that's good.
Excellent.
That's good.
So things moving in the positive direction.
I think so. Yeah. Like we, it's no secret. Shannon Bickle and I.
This one hit hard down the third base line, getting around,
coming in
into fair territory by a step or 2. Will be Quentin Exner. He'll take the catch deep out there in right field. That's out number 2.
It was safe, Cam.
Oh, it was in, bounced in, did it?
Bounced in.
Sorry.
Yeah, tailed in.
I thought he took a catch.
No, and now it's back to the top of the order for Jared Bylighter to see if he can put another bleeder in to left field and move Luke around.
Yeah, so we had a delegation of presidents meet with Anthony Brasher and Mark and Kerry. We were obviously concerned about quite a few things, and Johnny Bailey was represented as well from the umpires, and the meeting was, I think, very positive.
Okay.
And I think we'll get a little out of it. Will be us getting more ownership of the competition, and let's say like if Blacktown's not up to scratch at the end of the season for the playoffs.
Just one a little weak hit down to first base. They'll step on first base and get Bylighter, and then they'll fire to second base. Not in time to get Clapton, who advances to second. But Bylighter is the second out at first base with the put out from Mangione.
So we can take control of the final series, because I've always been a fan of playing it like home and away.
Yep.
But I guess we have to support the facility out there.
Is that supporting the league? And I'm going to ask. Yes, I know I'm on air, and I have my own personal
pop-up from
thoughts.
Ben Cohn. It's going behind second base, where Ismail Adra will take it. And that will retire Baulko Hills in the bottom of the 6th inning. So 6 completed, 5-1. Baulko Hills lead Cronulla.
Go.
Yeah, I agree with you. They know that I think they don't support us, so and that's what we're trying to work through. Because I guess if they can't and don't want to support us, we'll support ourselves, and that's what the meeting was all about.
Okay, fair call.
Like an example, I had Andrew Sands tossed here like in the second game of the season or something, and because they haven't got policies and procedures for the tribunal in place, that hearing hasn't even been heard.
Wow.
So if they come back to me and say, well, Andrew's hearing's on in next week, I'll just say, well, no.
Yeah, you've had your chance.
Go to Buggery, you've had your chance, So, and that was one of the things discussed at the meeting. So, and like ground preparation.
That's what I was actually very critical of.
We have control of this, right? And all the other grounds have control of theirs, and people work their backsides off to get it ready.
To make sure that it is in a playable condition at all times.
Out there, we've got no control. We've said we're happy to help if we're allowed to, but we're allowed to do it like a token effort, I'd call it.
I'll be even more critical from the point of view of you look over at the other two facilities and the other two sporting codes, and it's chalk and cheese. And yes, I am being quite negative and vocal.
No, so that just tells you that baseball's the poor cousin out there, right?
Yeah.
And not so much in their defence, but you got the Wanderers out there who've got a lot more cash than baseball have got, and you got who else out there? The bloody cricket's
Swans
out there,
and the cricket,
right?
yep.
Swans are out there. So
Greater Western, sorry. That do work out there.
Not the Swans,
GWS.
GWS Giants, boys.
That other team.
Cole Smith, the designated hitter for Cronulla, leading off the top of the 7th inning. And the score update, because we don't have a scoreboard, and I do apologise that it is 5-1 in favour of the Baulko Hills, Scott, as we see the first pitch is in there for strike one.
No.
This one hit hard, but it's going to be foul down the first base side and out of play.
Is this my replacement coming in behind me?
He might get a tap on the shoulder.
You're going to get the tap on the shoulder, I think, in a minute, done.
So who knows? You just never know what's going to happen. But
I actually offered her the first shift, but she wasn't. She started to talk on the way down here.
As it always does. You go to a baseball game, or it doesn't matter what park we go to, and we all have friends and family that you just have a chat.
I've got to say, as you know, I was away for the last couple of weeks, but there's no holidays when baseball's involved, let's put it like that. And no one will know better than she would.
Swing and a miss from Smith, 2-2 now, the count on him.
And he's had a single to left field and a 4-3 ground out so far for his 2 at-bats this afternoon.
And has scored the only run of the afternoon for Cronulla. As he hits the 2-2 pitch high into centre field, Ben Cohn has to come charging forward, but he will take it comfortably.
Not a problem.
One gone.
The other bit of news I got, I'm going to be a grandfather in January.
Thank you. I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
Well done.
Not sure.
Well, not that you had anything to do with it.
A little bit. A long way back, about 30 years ago. Had something to do with it. But I don't know what shirt he wear. Whether he'd be wearing a Manly shirt or a Baulko shirt.
Oh, like that. Well, at least you got maroon in it.
Well,
so it doesn't matter.
True.
Or burgundy.
So burgundy.
We've got Ismail Adra, the shortstop, in the batting box.
Shows bunt, withdraws the bat, takes the ball.
So when's all that supposed to be happening?
In about a month, 4 weeks.
Wow,
5th of January, yeah.
Ah, good move. Happy New Year.
Yeah, it should be good press, mate.
Absolutely.
Make sure they're a lefty.
Yeah.
As next pitch comes into Adra, and it is high.
Yep, 2 straight balls on Adra.
Who's had a standing strike and a single to right field for his 2 at-bats. And you are listening to the Summer of Baseball, proudly brought to you by Sports Broadcasting Australia, live from Northmead Reserve, and it is the clash between Baulko Hills and Cronulla Sharks.
And I guess I should take this opportunity to thank all our sponsors too, shouldn't I?
Yes, you do.
Hey?
And yes, you should.
There's, obviously very.
Would you like the list?
Oh, I know who they are. Yeah. I know I didn't sign all of them up. But no, definitely, as I said before, offering the live stream as part of the deal is, a big draw card. So thanks to you guys again.
Well, we enjoy it, and we'll cover as best as we possibly can. So whilst we've got this quick break before Quinton Exner comes up, thank them all. Who are they?
Power Packaging,
Yep.
Steve Robinson's company. Steve's obviously been playing here for years, and his dad, who he lost earlier this year, was a big supporter of the club over a long period of time. Fire Clip, who young Jared Baulko works for, so he got them on board, bench and board marks, bench and
boards and bench tops.
Boards and bench tops and boards. I got around the wrong way, mate.
You did.
Thank you.
That's all right.
Aaron Zammett picked those up, and Elite Sports have been dealing with them for a couple of seasons now. They produced our new uniforms and training tops and whatnot, and red stitches, of course, which is once again appreciated. So all good.
That's it. And I know that you're actually probably getting a little bit dry in your throat looking at that.
No, I've been in Tasmania for 2 weeks, so
you're good to go.
Bought back half of the Bogues factory.
The Bogues Brewery, I think.
Probably need to dry out, mate, more than anything else.
That is a good thing.
Exner swings hard, fouls this one off down the first base side again. Runner at first base, Adra will return to first base. Nothing much will change.
It looks like Exner's not going to go down wondering.
No, he has a crack.
It's just sort of having a look, as we couldn't find any stats on him, so we're guessing that he's a late
I don't think he's been here long.
Yes.
But we'll actually find out by the competition manager who's
he said, he hasn't been here long. We had a look at the stats, and he has no stats, so this may well indeed be one of his first games. Going to the plate, misses downstairs and will walk Exner. That's back-to-back walks issued up by Scott Cone now, and might be time for somebody to come out and pay Mr. Cone a visit. In fact, James Percival is going to head to the mound, and he's going to look over that way and see whether or not a coach wants to come out. No, it's just going to be Scott Cone and James Percival for a quick chat. And there is action in the Baulko Hills bullpen.
A little bit of action down there at the bullpen. Donnie, you might know the numbers.
It'll be either Andrew Lewis or Chris Rove will come out.
Okay. And in the batting box, it'll be the centre fielder for Cronulla. It'll be Zane Ross, who's had a...
last week we saw Liam Holm and Tom Roberts do some relief.
Yeah, Tom Roberts came very, very late.
Tommy's up in Brisbane with the Blue Sox.
I was going to say it'd be hard for him to do any relief today.
And Liam threw yesterday in the 18s. Did a great job too.
And has Tom been doing much work for the Sox?
He threw last night, but I think
he had the final innings last night. And got a couple of runs taken off him.
A bit, I think. Yeah.
But the game was gone by then anyhow, so there's no damage done there.
So it's fun, like like one pitcher puts a big hole in your roster. I don't know how like clubs like Blacktown who, they put a couple in there.
How they keep surviving and fielding quality. Absolutely it is. Zane Ross just fouls one off down the third base side. Cronulla trying to mount something here, top of the seventh. They trail by 4 runs. They've got runners at first and second, only one away. The number 9 hitter Zane Ross in the batter's box with no balls and 2 strikes on him. Scott Cone trying to pitch himself out of a little bit of a jam here in the top of the 7th. Cone has a good long look at the big lead of Adra at second base. Comes to the plate, hit hard into the 5-6 hole. Adra rounds third. They're waving him. No, they're going to put the brakes on him at the last moment, and he's going to get back. The wild throw goes over the top of third base, collected by Percival. But that will load them up for Cronulla. A nice piece of hitting by Zane Ross to find one into the 5-6 hole. and they were waving Adra around. At the last minute, they decided to hold him. The base is loaded with one out here in the top of the 7th. Lachlan Ross to the plate, and this time we will have a visit to the mound.
Well, I'll take this opportunity to hand over to the competition manager.
Okay. Well,
Thank you very much.
Thank you as always
thank you
for not only just hosting and enabling us to actually broadcast from here, but always the support that you actually do for what we do.
It's all right. All good.
Too easy.
Okay.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Don.
It's all right, Cam.
So there we go. That was Don Bylighter, El Presidente, as you hear us call on the broadcast on more than one occasion, and president of the Baulko Hills Baseball Club, and he's warmed the chair because we did say that it's likely that we do get guests. We go to a baseball game, and most people like to get behind a microphone, but then some don't. But we're going to take the opportunity very, very shortly as we see Lachlan Ross, second baseman, come into the batting box with loaded bases and only one out. And joining us on the microphone will be Kerry Jackson, the competition manager for New South Wales Baseball. It's not just for the State League.
That's right.
So good afternoon, Kerry.
Good afternoon, PMAC. Good afternoon, Cam.
Good afternoon, Kerry. How are all things going in the world of competition management? There's a lot of stuff to get your head around and to be sort of all overseeing.
Yeah, there's quite a bit.
You see this one tapped foul by Lachlan Ross. Bases are loaded. One away. Cronulla trail by 4.
So I thought you had retired from work.
I did. And then somebody at Baseball New South Wales thought it would be a good idea to unretire me.
Right.
So
is it what you expected?
No.
Want to think about that?
Not even close.
I'm trying to give an open answer. As we see the next pitch down in the dirt.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Lachlan Ross.
I've got to say it's been a challenge.
Yeah.
State league is state league, and I've done that for 5.5 years now, so I've sort of got used to that. But
because you get the pleasure of looking after all juniors and seniors and metro leagues and other leagues, or not?
No.
No?
It's not quite that bad.
Okay.
It's the state league. It's the women's league. It is the state cup competition part of the juniors, which is just what was brought back in this year. Under a new format.
2-2 pitch comes in, hit hard to high centre field. The centre left coming around will be Ben Cone. He will take the catch. The runner tags Adra, and he will come home and score on the sacrifice fly. So Lachlan Ross will be the second out, but he will score the run of Adra, and Cronulla get back to a 5-2. So they're down by 3, and they've got runners at first and second with 2 out.
And that will bring to the plate third baseman Andrew Azzopardi, and Azza has 0 for 3 this afternoon, fly 4, and a K2. So he'll be looking to manufacture a run, of course. And as I did, I will again make the shout out to Joe, who's in the Philippines, and Azza did actually ask us to give you a shout out, and hopefully you have been able to tune in. So, and we hope you're enjoying the broadcast. Yep. So, sorry, Kerry, you were mentioning before about the comps that you're looking after?
Yeah. Called strike.
Yep, called strike, 1-1.
The State Cup this year, they brought in a new format. They've created the Shipley Cup, the Balfour Cup, and the War Boys Cup.
Okay.
Yeah, which...
You see the 1-1 pitch come in as a party pops it up into foul territory at third base. Now it's going to blow back into the field of play. It's bobbled and it's caught. Luke Clapson made a meal of it. It hit him on the chest, hit him on the glove, hit him on the chin, and then he finally wrapped it up for the third out, but not before the hearts of the Baulko Hills supporters leapt from their chests to their mouths ever so slightly. And eventually Clapson catches it for the third out. That retires Cronulla. They do score a run and get it to 2, but in the 7th inning stretch time, it is 5-2. Baulko Hills over Cronulla as we continue with our chat with Kerry Jackson, competition manager for Baseball New South Wales.
Yeah, the Shipley Cup is for the under 16 age group. The Balfour Cup is the under 14 age group. And the War Boys was basically, it was for 10 and 11 year olds, so basically, you know, you're under 12s. Shipley and Balfour was divided into 2 divisions.
Yep.
Because some associations didn't feel that they had the bodies to fulfil, Division 1 teams.
Yeah, that makes sense.
What we've done last weekend at Kelso, I had a lovely day last Sunday down at Kelso, and we had the finals of the Division 2 for Shipley and also for Balfour, and the finals of the War Boys Cup.
Okay.
Which was a really good day, and actually Illawarra won both the Shipley Cup and the Balfour Cup in the Division 2.
Very good.
Played MacArthur in the semis, in the grand final in both games, and the War Boys Cup was a bit of a boil over. The grand final was between Hills and Cronulla Blue.
Yep.
And Cronulla Blue were actually the underdogs, very much so. It was expected that I think Cronulla White and Hills would fight out the final, but the Blue team on Sunday morning knocked out the White team.
Wow.
And then the Blue team went on and beat Hills 8-4 in the grand final. So it was intriguing to see my old mate Darren Fullerton there coaching with with the Cronulla Blue, and very, very proud of his boys who took home the inaugural War Boys Cup.
Yeah, and well, that would actually be good for Fullo as well, because knowing that he's had a long association with Peter. So as we're going to go into the bottom of the seventh.
Yep, bottom of 7, leading off Matt Martinson. Yep. That's correct.
So yeah, that probably would have been a good side as well. But so the quality of baseball in general.
A little bit hit and miss, I suppose, because I mean these are a lot of the kids who don't normally get to play rep.
This one hit hard to right field. It's going to get all the way to the corner, rounding second and going to third without any problems at all will be Martinson. He's going to be held at third, but a lead-off triple for Baulko Hills, so real big chance for him to get that run straight back here in the bottom of the 7th.
But it was really good to see the kids' involvement, and the kids really wanted to be involved. Before we actually kicked off the season, there was a bit of discussion about how it was going to work and who was going to be in it and who wasn't, and I don't think everyone was happy with the format.
Okay. Well, you know yourself. You can't.
But that's something that can be tinkered on in years to come. You've got to start somewhere.
That's exactly right. And I mean, they'd let the State Cup sort of lapse a few years back.
Correct.
And had been pushing for to come back in some form. So that was part of why New South Wales dragged me back into it, using the term literally.
Okay, so now we've got Heath Gray standing in the batting box, and he's seen 2 pitches. First one was a called strike, and the next one was up high and eye high fastball.
Well,
and
again,
swinging.
we see Heath Gray go after that eye high fastball, and again doesn't make any contact.
So the lemons, 5 lemons.
And a breaking pitch there from Brooks tries to get Heath Gray swinging, but not to be.
Yeah. So, but all in all, it it puts the sport in good stead, or
I think so. I mean, next Sunday, we've got the Division 1 Shipley and Balfour finals being played out at Colleton.
Heath Gray hits this one up into left field. It's a pop-up. It's a routine fly out there. Sangster will roll, he'll camp underneath it and catch it. But Martinson, at third base, he just bided his time on the base, waited for Sangster to catch it, and trotted home as comfortably as you like. So Heath Gray will get a sacrifice fly out of that. It will be 1 out, but Baulko Hills will get the run back and now lead at 6-2 over Cronulla here in the bottom of the 7th.
And that will bring to the plate the catcher, James Percival. Again, as we mentioning before, James, we actually saw at some of the MLB academies over the previous years, and just you're seeing the young guys coming through the ranks, and you think, wow, we are old, but and I'm not just speaking for myself.
It's always a worry when you have a look at the stat sheets and you see born in 2000 starting to come through and playing in first grade and representative baseball and that these days. So that's when you know you're getting old, when you see the players that were born in 2000 starting to represent. 1-1 to Percival here in the box for Baulko Hills.
It gets a bit scary for me when I look at these guys, and I've known their fathers this is my 40th year in baseball. So
this one hit hard to right field. Exner has a read on it, takes a comfortable catch out there for the second out. First of all, down on that fly to right field.
And speaking of fathers, it's condolences to the Kingman family.
Yes, very much so. Heard about Barry this morning.
Yeah.
Known Barry a long time. I was actually talking to BK last Sunday and working out how long I'd known him. I met him when he was 16. When he was playing in the Vikings under-18 team.
Oh, there
so,
we go.
I mean, I've known Pam and Barry that length of time too.
Yes.
So yes, definitely condolences on behalf of State League and Baseball New South Wales to the Kingman family.
Here.
Scott Kane in the batting box, who just fouled that one over the third base side of things.
Brooks to the plate, misses that one outside. No runners on, no damage, just outside.
A little outside. Long way outside. Dear. So what exciting things are coming up in the baseball world from the juniors' point of view, Kerry? Anything?
Well, as I say, next Sunday we've got the big, well, it's not a gala day, it's the finals day at Samuel Marsden with the first division for both Shipley and Balfour. I probably won't get Mark Shipley there because I'd say he might be on the road with the Blue Sox.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think I'd be pushing it to try and get Grant Balfour there, but you know.
Make the phone call, you never know.
You never know.
It's probably a bit far out from Christmas.
This has popped up into centre field, dying quickly, but Ross is coming forward. It'll die in for a base hit. It bounces in front of Ross. Scott Cohn gets himself a base hit for a 2-out base hit to keep things alive for Baulkham Hills, bottom of 7.
To bring into the batting box the left fielder Hayden Liberopoulos, who's 1 for 3 this afternoon.
What it's intriguing to see with this Baulkham Hills lineup is the number of kids who are playing first grade. I don't know if Don told you the story about going to get the drinks for the players after the game, and he's never had to get so much Coke out of the fridge.
And I was actually wondering that because the end of year Mad Monday or club function or these guys
It'd be
they won't make
McDonald's.
it into the club.
McDonald's and red cordials.
Oh, that's a scary thought.
That's just an image that I'm just thinking of then. Can you imagine where the pickles will end up?
Oh, dear. No, not good.
Frisbees flying everywhere.
Yeah, not good.
Well, as I said, if you're a baseball team and you go to McDonald's and you don't play pickle baseball yourselves, then
that's right. There's something wrong.
You're not a true baseball team.
So 3 balls on Hayden Liberopoulos. So
That's a worry.
Only if you let it worry you. But it's actually good to see that the actual junior guys coming up, and obviously there's a talent pool there.
Liberopoulos draws a walk on 4 straight pitches. Gives Baulkham Hills now runners at second and first, with 2 away here, bottom of the 7th, leading at 6-2 over Cronulla.
Yeah, and speaking of kids, here's another one. It's second baseman Joe Stevens.
Don was saying he's only just 16.
Yeah.
So, another one of the youth policies working their way through here to the top grade at Baulkham Hills. And it's not like Baulkham Hills are playing these kids without a reason. They're all very, very talented young baseball players. It's not like they've just decided to give, a couple of 16 or 17 or 18-year-olds a run in their first grade side. These players have earned their positions in this team.
Oh, absolutely.
Stevens
just down.
Yeah, just watches one in the dirt. Brooks just struggling a little bit here on the mound for Cronulla to finish Baulkham Hills off here in this bottom of the 7th. 1 ball, 1 strike. Been out there for almost 2 innings now in relief. Comes to the plate. This one is hit high into centre left. Going around is Sangster. Going around is Ross. Sangster makes the call. Sangster makes the catch. And that is the end of 7 innings here at Northmead Reserve. Baulkham Hills add 1 to the scoreboard, strand a couple. After 7 complete, it's Baulkham Hills 6 leading Cronulla 2.
And again, I'll take the opportunity to thank one of the game day sponsors here at Northmead Reserve in this clash between the Baulkham Hills Baseball Club and Cronulla, and it's Power Packaging. From pallet wraps to packaging tape, cardboard boxes to bubble wraps. Talk to Power Packaging. Power Packaging are the family-run company since 1989, and they're based in Western Sydney's Wetherill Park. Power not only guaranteed your next day delivery, but you will receive the highest quality products along with big league customer service for all your warehouse packaging needs. Their address is 9 Wedband Place, Wetherill Park. So for all your needs, contact 9725 2211 or give them that's to give them a call, but you can also go on the website, and that's www.powerpackaging.com.au. That's Power Packaging, game day sponsor and a season sponsor for the Baulko Hills Baseball Club. And it looks like there's a change on the hill there, Cam.
Unless Scott Cones decided to throw this one right-handed, PMAC, you would be spot on there. The change on the mound, Andrew Lewis.
Genius. Genius.
Andrew Lewis comes onto the mound for Baulko Hills, thrown 4.2 innings in relief this season with an ERA of 1.9 for the Baulko Hills side. So handy little replacement to come on in the later innings. And he really has to get them through 6 outs if possible to shut this one down for Baulko Hills. So we'll see how he goes. The game running along very nicely. It's just approaching 4:30 here in the eastern seaboard.
And 1990 where Harrow's watching.
If you're watching north of the border, yes, it's 3:30 in 1997.
That'll get back. But it's a good afternoon, Harrow. Good afternoon, Longy. Leading off the top of the 8th inning, it will be the first baseman, Jared Mangione, and he's had a fly 9, single to 8, and a 6-3 ground out.
Cronulla really need to get something going in this innings here. They trail currently by 4, 6 runs to 2. If they could halve that lead, it would certainly make Baulko Hills nervous after the completion of the game last week for Baulko Hills here against Ryde. Sidearm pitcher is Andrew Lewis, and finds a strike to start up with. Very low over that arm, sidearm hit hard by Mangione, but straight at Bylighter, who comes up firing. Gets Mangione by a couple of steps. So the second consecutive 6-3 for Mangione, and he is retired here to start the 8th.
And Cam, we better just tell our viewers again, if you'd like to contact us, there are several ways that you can do it, and send you either tweet, it's at Summer of Baseball, so at Summer of Baseball is the Twitter address, or you can send us an SMS, and the SMS number is 0423 551 195, as John Collins steps into the batting box and fouls that one down the third base side of things. We go off air until after Christmas, because it looks like that the Baulko Hills guys are really happy with what we're being able to achieve and put out onto the interweb, and so we're going to be able to hopefully do the remainder of the season for the Baulko Hills guys here at Northmead Reserve. First game back early February for Baulko Hills back here. But before that, and we're just sort of doing the negotiations at the moment, there is an all-star game down at Campbelltown, I believe.
Gilchrist Reserve, yes.
Gilchrist Reserve.
Collins a little flare, it's going to get into foul territory just over the back of first base. And 0-2 now on Collins.
Yep, so we've made contact, or someone made contact with us, so it's likely that we may even get the Godfather down for that one. So, given that it's summertime,
get the band back together again.
Get the band back together. So, I think that's January the 11th or something.
That's when it was scheduled for, I believe.
I believe that. So we'll be back in the country.
January 13th, in fact.
Oh, there we go. I was close. Somewhere around there.
11th may well be a Thursday, looking at those numbers. That one hit hard by Collins into the 5-6 hole. It'll get out to Liberopolis in left field, and John Collins collects himself a base hit, keeps the Cronulla chances alive, gives them a chance to get something going here in this top of the 8th inning. They trail by 6-2 at Baulko Hills, and really haven't had anything going except for that second innings today.
Yeah, so that looks like it's going to be our next broadcast, and then there's the Ride guys. They made contact with us last week when we were here, and they have their back to Ride night, which is around about Australia Day or a little bit after that, I believe. But stay tuned to the websites and the various Facebook pages, because we will be posting it wherever we possibly can. And Dean Sangster's in the batting box for Cronulla, and he's at a K2, 4-3 and a K2, and his first 2 pitches, first one was called, second one was called as well, so he's 0-2 I mean, so that's our upcoming broadcast. But yeah, so stay tuned. People are starting to like us again, Cam. We must be doing something right.
It's been a little while since we've done it, PMac, to be honest, but it's nice to be back in the chair.
It's nice to feel loved at least, anyway. So, 1 ball, 2 strikes on Dean Sangster.
The breeze picks up here a little bit at Northmead. Turning a little bit to the northeast. Sangster pops this one up into high fly right field. Martinson just circles around, takes it comfortably out there for the second out. No dramas out there for Matt Martinson. And so 2 gone now here, top of the 8th. John Collins remains at first base. Cole Smith to the plate now for Cronulla.
And you got your Christmas tree up yet, Kerry?
Nope.
Bar humbug.
No,
you can't be a bar humbug.
No. I wait for the school holidays and the grandkids do it.
Ah, there you go.
Can't be a bar humbug. Not in your house.
No.
So Cole Smith, designated hitter, steps into the batting box. He's 1 for 3 this afternoon, and as Cam said before, scored the only run.
Well, they did get one now in the 7th.
Oh, they've got one in the 7th.
Yep. Takes a called strike from
covered.
Andrew Lewis to start things off.
Had my hand on it.
As usual.
Boom, boom.
Here all week. Try the schnitzel. Lewis misses low and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike now on Cole Smith. Runner at first, John Collins. Cronulla trailing by 4 here in the top of the 8th. It is 6-2, Baulko Hills. Lewis again, the exaggerated sidearm sort of posture as he sort of gets right down over that arm and fires it almost submarine style to the plate. Smith could only foul it off and now falls behind 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cronulla desperately need a base hit here. Keep things rolling alive. This one's outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Smith just waits on Lewis now. Lewis tries a slider. This is going to bleed into left field. It's going to drop. It does drop well in front of Liberopoulos, and so they will get that base hit that they needed. Collins moves to second, and now they will have a real chance of maybe driving in a run with Ismail Adra to the plate.
Yeah, just quickly looking over the shoulder, and Kerry, given that you're the competition manager, I would expect you to have the results from other grounds and other games.
Yep.
So in the seconds,
Well,
what do you got for us?
In second grade today, well, here we had Baulko Hills 3 defeated Cronulla 0. Over at Manly, Ride got up over Manly 7 runs to 6. And then, and then last night, we had the 2 Saturday games. And in second grade, Vikings and Blacktown played a 7-all draw. And then also MacArthur and Central Coast played a 2-all draw. So that keeps the ladder nice and interesting in second grade.
Absolutely, very tight in second grade.
Yeah. Okay, so what are the countback scenarios and stuff?
Yeah. Don't worry about them a week out from week out from the finals.
No, I made sure I put it in the rules and it's there in red.
I love it.
I actually had worked out all the countbacks before the last game last year.
Adra swings and misses.
Yep.
Not happy with himself. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And there was only one possible scenario that could end up with 3 teams level, and that was exactly what happened. And it included a draw.
There we go. One of those things.
Adra just gets enough bat on it to stay alive. He was down 1 and 2, and once he started to flail that bat, he feared that he was going down on strikes, but he got a bit of bat on it, stayed alive. Cronulla will reset. They are 2 out here in the top of the 8th. Runners at first and second. It is 6-2 Baulko Hills over Cronulla. Next pitch is hit straight down the first base line, but foul again. And again, Adra was late on it. So he sort of made a decision very, very late to have a swing at it.
Now, excuse my ignorance, Kerry, but how many's going through to finals this year? 4 or 5?
4. Definitely 4.
Definitely 4?
Yes.
Because there's obviously, talk is talk. We've heard different rumours and different speak from different people.
Adra chops this one again, but straight back to the pitcher on this occasion, and that will be Lewis to Gray. That is out number 3. Cronulla retired here in the top of the 8th. They are down to their last 3 outs to try and get something going, but Baulko Hills will grab the bats. They'll come out in the bottom of the 7th, bottom of the 8th, to see if they can add a little bit of insurance.
We'll just have a little bit of a musical interlude, see what Cam's going to pull off the phone today. Push play. And welcome back to North Bean Reserve, where you are listening to the Summer of Baseball, proudly brought to you by Sports Broadcasting Australia. It's Big Cam on the play-by-play, and joining us in the commentary box, it's Kerry Jackson, competition manager for Baseball New South Wales, as we're going into the bottom of the 8th innings with the Baulko Hills club leading 6 runs to 2, and it is Luke Clapston in the batting box.
Yeah, Clapton takes a called strike there. And the count is 2 strikes, I believe. We've had a couple of changes defensively. Ethan Stacey's gone out to shortstop for Cronulla. On the mound, Nick Ekberg. And Ekberg just misses downstairs. 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Clapton. Another one of these young Baulko Hills kookaburras working their way through the grade. This one has popped up into shallow right. Going back, Mangione from first base. He makes the call and drops it. Drops it cold as a spud there behind first base. He made the call, made the stretch, came up empty. So Clapton will be aboard, and I can imagine that could only be scored an error on Jared Mangione.
Cold spud.
Dropped it as cold as a spud.
Never heard that one.
Haven't you?
Not at all. There we go, back to the top of the order for Jared Bylight, the shortstop for Baulko Hills.
Ekberg finds a strike on Bylighter to start things off. Bylighter 1 for 3 this afternoon. Had a base on balls and scored a run. Flied out and grounded out. And a base hit to left field. Shows bunt and drops it down. But it'll be straight back to Ekberg on the mound. He'll go to first base for the out. They will advance the runner in Clapton. He'll head up to second base. And Bylighter the first out of this bottom of the 8th for Baulko Hills. Imagine they're just trying to get through this innings and get to the top of the 9th, retire Cronulla, and record a very important win for them to get themselves back to 500 on the season.
And that brings to the plate the centre fielder Ben Cone, and first pitch is in there for strike zone, strike one even. And Ben Cone batting 500 for this afternoon, led off with a home run in the first. And that one goes well.
Yep. Hit hard straight away as a party. As a party has no worries whatsoever.
Oh, I couldn't see.
And he whips it across the diamond and gets the second out. So as simple as that. 2 gone very quickly here for Baulko Hills. Clapson making no attempt to go anywhere from second base, just biding his time there. Now Martinson, who tripled the last time he came to the plate. He's had a single and a triple. So a double and a home run short of a cycle, but not going to get that opportunity this afternoon.
Oh, there was an infield fly.
Yeah.
That could have gone anywhere.
Needed a strong bruise to blow it out for him as he chops this one foul back here to the netting. Baulko Hills with a 4-run lead here in the bottom of the 8th. 1 ball, 1 strike on Matt Martinson. There's 2 out and a runner on second as a swing and a miss from Martinson will put him behind 1 and 2 now. McBurg not happy with the baseball. He'll ask for a new one. Or a replacement one. He seems a bit happier with the one he's been delivered. 1-2 pitch on its way is inside, and Martinson was trying to lean into it just enough to be able to give him a little bit of a flick on the front shoulder and get that base on balls, but not to be. 2-2 pitch. Here's a slider, and it misses low and outside. Count now fills on Matt Martinson. Martinson waits, hits this one deep to right field, going back. Exner has a read on it, waits on it, catches it comfortably, and that will be all she wrote for the 8th innings. So the 8th innings is done and dusted. We head to the top of the 9th and the last chance saloon for the Cronulla Sharks, with the Baulko Hills Kookaburras leading the Sharks by 6 runs to 2.
Now from baseball to softball, Little League to ABL, Red Stitches accommodate for all your needs around the diamond. Red Stitches are your one-stop shop for all your gear, including bats, gloves, uniforms, caps, kit bags and balls. So you can go online at www.redstitches.com.au, or you can call into the store at 65 Sefton Road, Thornlea, or you can give them a call and check out the range on 9484 0736. It's Red Stitches baseball and softball specialists. And don't forget that they do have a special leading into Christmas as you buy anything over $30, so spend anything over $30 and it is free shipping wherever you are. So go online, you can actually just redstitches.com.au. There's a great range of products, baseball related, everything from jewellery to actual things that you can actually use to play the game with. So again, game day sponsor and club sponsor of Baulko Hills. So it's Red Stitches baseball and softball suppliers, and we do thank them. Now it looks like there's going to be another couple of changes being made here, Cam, as we go through, and we'll get to them in as we can, because that's certainly not Quinton Exner.
No, he said he made the change, and so Connor Casey it is at the plate. So he comes in the game to lead off this top of the 9th. Andrew Lewis still doing the work on the mound for Baulko Hills and starts things off with a called strike.
And both clubs have got slightly sidearm pitches that are,
at the moment they have
closing it down.
This one is chopped straight at Heath Gray. Gets a horrible bounce. He's going to make it a tough play. Flicks it up between his legs, not in time. Tough break that for Heath Gray. He was in good position, and it just got into that diamond sand material, the rough area where the runners take their lead at first base. It kicked up and hit him either in the chest or on the chin. It bounced away. He chased after it, and Lewis, to his credit, went across to cover to give him a bit of support. He flicked it through his legs to try and continue to get the out, but not to be. Casey gets aboard, gives Cronulla a little bit of a glimmer of a chance here in the top of the ninth now. Lead-off's aboard. Can they turn it into something? Big swing and a miss from Zane Ross at the first pitch he sees from an off-speed pitch of Lewis's.
So was that scored an error or a hit there, Ken?
I would score it a hit, but I'm not scoring the game, PMAC. I'm commentating it. You'd have to ask the two ladies to our right, because for mine it was a terrible kick on Heath Gray, and it has been officially scored a hit, which is nice to see, because, as I said, it was a terrible kick that Heath Gray got. It bounced up and got him in the face, and as I said, he did everything he could to still try and get the out, but not to be. So Casey aboard with a base hit. Zane Ross now trying to keep things going for Cronulla. He hits this hard to left field. It's getting down quickly. It's in for a base hit.
It'll be in.
Casey will get to second base, and now Cronulla with runners at first and second and nobody out. And now after last week giving up, or in fact it was a tied game going into the ninth and giving up the lead in the ninth and ending up losing the game, Baulkham Hills fans will be a little bit nervous here in the top of the ninth with Cronulla 2 aboard, nobody out.
And top of the order.
And back to the top of the lineup. Very interesting to see whether or not they move the runners around or wouldn't with a 4-run deficit. You probably still just bat away. For 1 run or 2 runs you might. But Lachlan Ross in the batter's box and sees a ball, the first pitch he sees. So things tightening up here a little bit at Northmead. Baulkham Hills 3 outs away. Cronulla with the tying run on deck, as Lewis decides to look the runners back. Casey at second base. Zane Ross at first base. Zane's brother Lachlan in the batter's box. Lewis to the plate. Way inside. The pitch gets away from Percival, and the runners will advance. So Casey to third. Ross to second. That one, PMAC, much as I hate to say it,
go on.
That one's a pass ball. Ouch, that hurts.
That hurt.
Ouch, that hurts.
That hurt you.
Yes, it's an old crotchety catcher. They're all wild pitches. And Percival probably should have gloved that one. Swing and a miss from Lachlan Ross. Goes to 2 and 1.
If it's any consolation, Cam, the video doesn't lie.
Oh, I understand that. That still doesn't matter to me. They're still all wild pitches. Next one comes in, misses downstairs, makes it 3 balls and 1 strike. It's a very big pitch. If Lachlan Ross draws a walk and goes on, the tying run comes to the plate. Lewis, 3-1 pitch, finds the strike zone to fill the count at 3 balls and 2 strikes. What can Lachlan Ross do? Had a sacrifice in his last at-bat. Sees this one, swings through it, and strikes out. A big strikeout for Andrew Lewis and the Baulkham Hills side. They get their first out here in the top of the ninth. And Cronulla now down to 2 outs.
That was a very important strikeout there, and a good pitching by Louis.
Just keeping it away from Lachlan Ross, who couldn't go after it. As a party slaps this one up the middle for a base hit. That'll score a run. They're going to wind him home as the ball bobbles out into centre field. The throw from centre field is cut off in the middle of the diamond, and as a party drives in 2, and Cronulla are back in this one. A good piece of hitting from Andrew Azzopardi. Just managed to find a way to bobble it out into centre field. And the running of Casey and Ross was enough. The ball not hard hit, but got out into centre field. And that was enough to send Ross around the corner. He scored. It is 6-4 now with a runner on first. And Cronulla are trying to come back. Azzopardi going to second. A throw is in time, is it? No! Azzopardi goes in underneath it. And he will slide in and be called safe at second base.
Yeah, that pitch just got well and truly away from Percival, the catcher for Baulkham Hills. But he made up a lot of ground and just threw it back there. But umpire's in the best position to make the call, so he believes that Andrew got underneath the tag.
Next pitch misses low. 2 straight balls now to Mangione.
So certainly a comeback by the Cronulla side.
If Mangione goes aboard, the tying run will be aboard for Cronulla. It is at the plate at the moment. This one chopped foul towards our third base camera. Missed it, thankfully.
What's that doing over there?
Is our insurance policy up to date, P-Mac?
Of course.
We've got one, have we? That's news. There you go.
2 balls, 1 strike.
Called strike now on Mangione. 2-2. It's Cronulla rally.
Get the excitement going.
2-2 pitch popped up into foul territory. Heath Gray has a read on it. Stands his ground. Takes the catch in foul territory. Big out for Baulko Hills. Cronulla now down to their final out with the tying run at the plate. John Collins, who is their offensive leader so far this season, was 500 coming into today, is 1 for 4 so far this afternoon. So if you play statistics, he's probably likely to get a base hit here. We'll see how it turns out though. Lewis has got other ideas as he fouls this one straight back to the net. To fall behind 0-1. Baulko Hills desperate to hang on here, get their season back to 500. They have said that, we heard the President Don Bylighter say 500 is about the number for the season that you'll be looking at for semi-finals, give or take 1 win either way, possibly. So they could get back to 500 here for the Christmas break. They'd be very happy with that. They do have a catch-up game against Manly, who are down in the ladder somewhere to come in the season. So that might actually work in their favour as the season progresses. Looks like it'll be a midweek game on the 20th. This one chopped to shortstop. Is it over? Bylighter balances up, makes the throw, gets John Collins at first base, and we are done here at Northmead Reserve. Baulko Hills, they hang on. A few nervous moments there in the 9th inning, but they get the job done, and they will run out winners 6-4 over the Cronulla Sharks here at Northmead Reserve. A good win for Baulko Hills, set up by a very, very good 3rd inning where they put on 4 runs and they just managed to hang on and scrap the rest of the afternoon. They're running out winners 6-4 over Cronulla.
Yeah, it certainly did, Cam, and just sort of having a quick and very loose way of actually recording it. But Cronulla, there was 4 runs off 10 hits, 1 error conceded and 9 left on. On the other side of the ledger, we had Baulko Hills. They were 6 runs off 10 hits, 1 error, and it looks like 9 left on. So relatively even across the board, but again, nothing outstanding from the point of view of there was no dodgy plays or anything. It was just standard baseball and good competition baseball that we actually saw things happening in front of our eyes.
That's it. It was some good pitching and some good fielding all around. Good batting, and as you say, nothing controversial anywhere around. And no tight calls that made decisions one way or the other. It was all just down to the baseball skills and talent on the day. And it was the young Baulko Hills side that came out on top. They just showed too much today. They took advantage of the chances when they came along, especially in that 3rd innings, whacking on 4 runs to open it up. And from there on in, they just shut them down. Some good pitching from Scott Cone, backed up by Andrew Lewis, and that was enough for the win.
Certainly was. And Cam, before we actually do the wrap-up, I'm just going to quickly ask Kerry, before she runs away as well, with the make-up game that Baulko, do they have to play that game, or is it...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
There's 2 games. It's on Wednesday, the 20th of December.
Okay.
And we have Manly playing Baulko Hills at Bisp, and we also have Penrith playing Central Coast.
Okay.
So it's 2 make-up games. The other make-up game that we needed for Baulko has been played a few weeks ago.
Yep.
And they beat Penrith in that one. So they have to be played.
Okay.
So
I just thought it might have been only if required.
No. They've been scheduled. The ground's booked, and they must be played.
Excellent. Okay. Well, again, thank you very much for coming over. And I know that yes, it's Sunday and it's baseball, and you had the opportunity to spend time with your family, so you're at a ballpark. So
it's actually the first game I've gone just to watch this season.
And look, and then you get roped in to sit behind a microphone for a little bit.
Well.
But yeah, we do thank you for your time, and it's actually a pleasure to get a little bit more of an insight of what's happening in the world of competition sides of things.
The different competitions that are on and where they are, and don't forget, if you're not doing anything, you want to watch some quality baseball. We got the finals of the Balfour and Shipley Cups next Sunday
at Samuel Marsden.
At Samuel Marsden, yes.
Colleton.
So no reason you can't get down there and see some of the very strong up and coming young junior baseballers doing their thing down there.
Yes, there's some very good young baseballers playing in those comps.
Okay, well, we'll let you be on your merry way. And again, thank you very much, Kerry.
Thank you, and goodbye, PMAC. Goodbye, Cam.
Thank you very much, Kerry. Cheers.
Yeah, so that was Kerry Jackson, competition manager for Baseball New South Wales. Getting quite a bit of time here in what has been a wonderful afternoon here at Northmead Reserve, Cam.
Yeah, another great afternoon at Northmead. They know how to do it out here. They do it well. Glad to be on board again with Northmead and the Baulko Hills Baseball Club. It's pleasure that they asked us to come out and do these games, and they said it only takes an email, a phone call, whatever. We're more than happy to come out and do your baseball games for you, and we'll let you know what you need to do and how you need to do it, and you provide a table and some chairs, and we'll come out and do a baseball game.
Usually that's all it is. It's table, chairs, and power supply.
Yeah, a little bit of power helps. Otherwise, the cameras struggle to pick anything up when they're not switched on.
Just a little bit.
But mate, 6 runs to 4. Baulko Hills beat Cronulla here, wrapping it up. It was a pretty good game of baseball. Some high quality baseball played all around. Some very good plays made around the diamonds. Some short ball played. Some long balls. A blast from Ben Cone in that first innings that cleared the left field fence and really got out of here quickly. And so look, there's not too much more to add, mate. What are we at? We're at almost at 5 o'clock. So it's almost the perfect time to wrap things up and get out of here.
It certainly is, Cam, and I know that you're going to do the sign-off, but before we do, today's broadcast is brought to you by Baulko Hills Baseball Club, Red Stitches Baseball and Softball Supplies, Boards and Bench Tops, Fire Equip and Power Packaging. They're just some of the sponsors and the game day sponsors and the club sponsors of Baulko Hills Baseball Club. And of course, you are listening to the Summer of Baseball, proudly brought to you by Sports Broadcasting Australia.
And with that, we will close it off. PMAC, we thank you again very much for your contributions all afternoon and your efforts in switching and organising the guests and getting that along. It's been a great game of baseball out here at Northmead Reserve, where the Baulko Hills Kookaburras run out winners by 6 runs to 4 over the Cronulla Sharks. You've been listening to Big Cam and PMAC from the Summer of Baseball, proudly brought to you by Sports Broadcasting Australia. We love doing what we're doing, and we hope to do a lot more of it in the near future. So stay tuned for our next broadcast, which looks like it may be in the new year. So if we don't see you beforehand, have a fantastic Christmas and a very happy and safe holiday period over the new year. We may be back with the All-Stars versus Imports game at MacArthur on the 13th of January, it looks like. So stay tuned to our Facebook and Twitter pages for updates on that. But until then, have a great time. If we don't see you over the break, have a great break. And we will see you in the new year for more baseball here at the state baseball level.
See ya.
Take care, everybody.